DBN Radio Live. We are back. Another one. It was Murder He Wrote this weekend. We're going to talk about it. We have a lot to talk about. It went down this weekend. What did you call it, Milt? What did you title this one?
I called it Murder Was the Case That They Gave Him.
Oh, that y'all heard it from Milt.
Murder was the case, baby.
Y'all heard it from co-host Milt in the building. Guys, we have a lot of people on the panel. We have a great show. We're about to get started in a minute. Let me go ahead and give shots out to everybody in the comment section before we start the show once again. What's going on to my man Angel Santos?
Oh, he say he hearing us live now.
Oh, yeah, y'all hearing us live. My man says Snoop Dogg. That's that murder was the case that they gave him. My man Supreme General said hashtag salute. All right, guys. Go ahead and rep your city, guys. We're about to get started in a minute. There will be a small pause. We got a special guest on the line as well. Somebody that got a real good win on this Wilder versus Bermain undercard. All right, guys. We're about to go ahead and get started right now. Once again, you guys are going to hear the little ads and everything, and then we're going to get right into it.
What it do, K-Block?
Yeah, my man K-Black Boxing, he said hit that like button. He said, Dontae, what's happening, bro? What's going on, man? My man Angel Santos said Bronx 718. My man Brandon Harper said DBN what's good. All right, y'all. We're about to go ahead and get it started, guys. That's what it is. Just hold tight. There'll be a small pause, and then we get right into it, y'all.
Tell you something right now. If you guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkickin.com. That is ashkickin.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kickin fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kickin all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products, go to ashkickin.com.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dontae, baby. Dontae!
What's going on, y'all? And welcome to another great edition of the Dontae's Boxing Nation radio show. I am your host, Dontae. Let me go and introduce the co-host, as always, my man Big Milt. What's going on, Big Milt?
Not much, baby. How we feeling today?
All right, man. We got a hell of a good one, boy.
Yeah, we do, bro.
We got a good one tonight, Milt.
Yeah, we do.
First things first, man. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel, as we always do. I got my man Kirk Jackson, who's a former fighter, and he's a writer on BoxingInsider.com. Go ahead and check out his articles.
No stuff.
I also have my man Ray Flores. He's one of the up and coming, one of the best boxing broadcasters and commentators. You guys have seen him all. You see him all the time on PBC Showtime telecast. What's going on, Ray Flores?
Dontae, pleasure to join you guys, my man. It is certainly a pleasure to speak with you, and always great to see you at the fight.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I'm glad I finally got you on the show. And let me go ahead and introduce my special guest. This man, he got a real dramatic, emotional win, I would say. And we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to my man, little Bhop, Chris Colbert. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Dontae? Pleasure to be here, man.
Oh, no doubt, man. I'm glad I could get you in on short notice, man. I really appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead and start with you, Chris, because I know you're busy out there. So once again, I appreciate you calling in. This was a real emotional type of fight. Would you agree with that? Because I was going back and forth interviewing you and Titus Williams. You get the win, you knocked them down, and you win a unanimous decision. Speak on that, man. How you rate your performance?
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't really an emotional win for me because I told you guys what I was going to do. I mean, it could have been worse. It's no, I don't make no excuses, but I got sick the day before the fight.
It's more wholesome. The other one was more tasty. This feels like feeding my soul.
Hold on, I got somebody. I got to mute somebody. Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I don't really call it an emotional fight because I mean, like I told you guys, I was gonna do this from the jump. I warned you. It's not like I didn't give you guys a warning. I told you this was gonna happen.
Yeah. So it played out pretty much the way you expected it to, huh, Chris?
Yes. I mean, I was going for. I was planning on getting a knockout, but I hurt my hand in the third round, right before I dropped him, and then I hurt my hand with the same hand that I dropped him with. But there's no excuses. Tyler Williams is a tough competitor. He got a very, very strong head, and he's a true champion. He's gonna be a good fighter after this fight.
What kind of conversation did you guys have after the fight? Were you guys kind of cool or what?
Yeah, I mean, I told him it was all business, nothing personal. He still got an opportunity to prove himself and to become a champion. Don't let this one loss hold him back. I got nothing against him. We can go out and party right after this if he wanted to.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And I commend you guys, man, because that's something that you rarely see in the sport of boxing, Chris, where you have two undefeated fighters at such a young, stage in their career going up against each other. You seldomly ever see that. So, credit to you and Titus for taking that fight. And that's why I don't see this really affecting, Titus as much. But, of course, it's better for you because you obviously got the win, Chris. So, yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, it was a great fight. I tried to give the fans a fight that they wanted to see. But after, like I told you earlier, I hurt my hand in the third round. Didn't really do much. I try to do as much as I can with the same hand. That's why. Well, I mean, good thing that I know how to switch. Good thing I know how to switch from lefty to righty because when I hurt my left hand in the third round, I couldn't really throw my left hand much. I kept switching, and I stayed lefty. I try to do as much as I can with my right hand, to get the victory.
And let me go ahead and ask you, what'd you think about that main event, man? Your boy Dontae, Deontay Wilder knocking out Bermain in the first round. What your reaction, man?
Like they said, murder was the case.
Love it, man. That was huge, man. Huh? What's that? I mean, you
learn from that guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame any of these heavyweights for not wanting to fight him.
You don't blame. So I guess it's justified. So do you think Anthony Joshua will get in there anytime soon? You think he'll fight him next? What do you think?
Out of all fighters in the heavyweight division, I feel Anthony Joshua will be the fighter to give Wilder a fight, and if anybody could beat him, I think it would be him.
You think Anthony, if anybody could beat Wilder, you think it would be Joshua?
Yeah.
Interesting. I love to hear stuff like that, man, because I haven't heard anyone say anything like that in a while. And when I interviewed you, you also picked Lomachenko to beat Rigo too, right?
Lomachenko to beat Rigo?
Yeah, didn't you pick Lomachenko?
Yeah.
When I interviewed you out there at the bar in Brooklyn out there?
I feel like Rigo have a very good shot at beating him because Rigo is strong. I think they power levels are the same right about now because I've been in the ring with Rigo now, and I felt his power. So I feel like Rigondeaux have a very good chance of catching up because I don't really think Lomachenko has that much power.
Okay. Hey,
I feel like he know how to put his combinations together, his punches together to outwear his opponent and to get the stoppage. Because as we see, we never see Lomachenko get a one-punch knockout only against what's the guy name? The fighter he knocked out to get the title at 130.
Oh, Roman. Was it Roman Gonzalez?
Yeah. Other than that, we never seen him really get a one-punch knockout.
No. Roman Martinez.
Rocky.
Rocky Martinez.
I always do that.
Yeah. No,
Rocky Martinez.
Yeah, you had the idea, though.
Yeah.
But hey, okay, man. Well, hey, that's what it is. Well, once again, I want to say congratulations, Bhop. when you get something lined up, I want to get you back on the show so we could go ahead and promote your next fight. Anything else you want to say to the fans, or you want them to follow you, Bhop?
No, thank you for tuning in. I'll be back in the ring around January, February against another top prospect, or maybe better yet than a prospect, maybe somebody in the 20-something fights, probably only the most 2 losses. And stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, the_golden_real. the_real_golden child. On Facebook, Christopher TGC Colbert.
That's what it is, man.
What's up?
Y'all heard it from Lil Bhop, Chris Colbert. Good looking out, man, and I'll catch up with you later, all right, man? Thanks again.
Thank
all right. You guys heard it from Little Bhop. So, guys, so we're going to talk about all the fights that took place this weekend, from the smallest ones to the biggest ones. But I want to go ahead and talk to my man Ray Flores real quick. Ray Flores, once again, he's one of the best announcers. You guys always see him on PBC, Showtime events. Matter of fact, Ray, you were in the building, and you actually talked to Dontae Wilder right after the knockout. Tell me how that conversation went and your thoughts on the fight, Ray.
Well, you know what, Dontae? It's always a pleasure to speak with you. But last night was special. Obviously, the one round eradication of Stiverne. But after the fight was over, we went ahead and I headed over to eat a little bit of dinner, and then Dontae Wilder came in with all his group and everything. And I know quite a bit of people that are around them, and they asked me to give a toast for the champ.
Wow.
So last night is another big moment for me.
Nice.
One that I will always carry with me, is to be able to give the ceremonial toast for the champ, Dontae Wilder, and all of those that were involved, his family, his friends, and those that were involved in his camp. So I was certainly honored and privileged to be able to do that. But he's really ready, Dontae. Everything that he said in his post-fight interview, he means. This guy is the best heavyweight in the world. And you know what?
No doubt.
I know you have a lot of listeners from the UK that are fanatics, whatever. Look, line up Anthony Joshua for Dontae Wilder. Wilder will put him out like how he's done every other opponent in his past.
And since you brought up, UK fans, of course we're going to talk about it later on, but I might as well ask you, Ray, what do you think about some of the fans that said, Bermain, he was fat, he was out of shape, and trying to discredit Wilder's performance? What do you say to the fans, the UK fans that say that?
Look, Dontae, I spoke with Don House, who was Stiverne's trainer earlier in the week, and there was never at any point this feeling of doubt. There was never a feeling of this was a bad camp. They were happy with what they got out of Stiverne. Look, here's the bottom line. Stiverne was the #1 mandatory as given by the WBC. So for people to dismiss him, if he would have gone 5 or 6 rounds, then Wilder's overrated. With Stiverne having lost in the first round, or Stiverne didn't come into shape. You can't please the public. That's the bottom line. Dontae Wilder, to me, please the public, but you're always going to get those people. And Dontae, look, for dehydration, you don't have to drink this. And I'm talking about Haterade. Drink Haterade. Drink the electrolytes. But these people want to constantly sip on Haterade.
Yeah.
Just enjoy watching greatness before your very eyes.
Yeah,
They're
man.
always hating. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
And you guys are listening to, once again, the announcer, one of the best PBC boxing announcers. You guys always see him on TV, announcing all the fights. And he does commentary blow by blow as well, my man Ray Flores. To add on top of what you just said right now, Ray, do you notice that they could have used these excuses after the weigh-in? You notice after the weigh-in, none of these fans that said this afterwards, none of them said, Wilder is going to knock this guy out in the first couple rounds because he's out of shape and he's this and he's that. They never even said that.
It wasn't even brought up.
The fact that they say this way after the fact, that lets you know what this is based on. It's based on emotion and all that, and that UK pride. which, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to the UK fans. But, any other fans outside of the UK, I mean, that's just pure ignorance as far as I'm concerned, Milt.
Me too. And then, and also, I read an interview that Bermain gave maybe about a week ago. Or a couple weeks ago. He said that he was more prepared this time for Deontay Wilder because he knew that Luis Ortiz was going to fall out, and he was prepped and ready for him to fall out, and that's the reason why he had chosen to fight the taller, what's his name? The one Brazil. He said he selected Brazil because he's a taller guy. He had already trained for somebody Deontay's height. He was prepped. He was ready. He had been in the best shape. He was in better shape than he was before.
And he said he purposely wanted to come in heavier this time because he was dehydrated in the first fight.
He purposely wanted to come in. So there are no excuses on how he came into the ring, what he looked like. And then sometimes, I mean, hey, George Foreman looked like,
that's a great point.
Was even bigger than that and older. You know what I'm saying? When he sees the title.
Yeah.
So you can't use that as an excuse, man.
But not, and on top of that as well, I could see if this was a fight where Bermain was doing real good and he gassed after like 5 or 6 rounds.
Right.
All of a sudden you don't see the same fire and he starts fading real quick.
Exactly.
Then you could possibly say, oh man, he wasn't in shape.
You're right.
But he did everything right in this fight. He had his hands up. He had his guard up, and the right hand came straight down the pipe.
Straight down the pipe.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Man, perfectly placed right hand.
Yeah.
And he was splitting, and Deontay came out pumping the jab. He hit him with at least 20 to 25 jabs straight.
Straight piston jabs.
Through the
Lennox Lewis jabs.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are no excuses on this one.
Yeah, man. So
but that is awesome on that toast, man. Do they have video footage of that? I would like to see that, man.
It's on my Facebook page, guys. I was actually one of my very good friends who handles operations for TGB Promotions, British and John, filmed it. So it's on my Facebook page and stuff, guys. So check it out. And very honored to do that. But also another thing, guys, and I mentioned this yesterday on Twitter. Romain Stiverne, Luis Ortiz, any heavyweight in the world that would have been inside the ring and saw from Deontay Wilder last night would have fallen to the same thing.
Exactly.
Maybe not the first round, but the 10th or 11th would have been the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And once again, and what do you think about the contrast, Ray? You look at Anthony Joshua's performance just a week before against Takam, and then you look at Wilder's performance. I mean, if you could just speak on that, the dichotomy right there, man.
Look, Anthony Joshua looked okay against Takam. He went out and he did what he had to do. He got an important victory. But at the end of the day, I think Deontay Wilder looks better in the win over Romain Stiverne than what Joshua did. But again, there is a narrative going on, guys, that, Deontay needs to go to Wembley Stadium, this and that. He's this, he's that. Look, Anthony Joshua's still not relatively known out here.
Exactly.
And as you know, guys, if this fight were to happen, look, he's already been over there and done 90,000 people to Klitschko. He did 80,000 people would take him. Deontay Wilder is becoming a draw on television.
Oh, yes.
And has drawn millions of people on Fox, his last couple of fights. I'm sure the numbers on Showtime will be through the roof.
Yes.
He drew over close to 11,000 people last night at Barclays Center on the same night where there was a UFC going on up the road, and they drew 18,000 people. This fight needs to happen. Wilder and Joshua in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
There
Home
it
of the
is.
mega fight. And Ray, I know you've been to a lot of fights there at the Barclay. After that first knockdown, have you heard the buzz? I could feel the energy coming through the television last night. I mean, can you talk about the energy inside the Barclay last night after that first knockdown?
Man, you know what, guys? It was crazy. I've been to tons of fights at Barclays, as you mentioned, and it was electric. When he landed that laser right hand, it was like people are like, it's almost kind of, I never saw Tyson fight, but I have a lot of friends of mine that were around Tyson and stuff like that. They're saying to me, they go, look, the kind of reaction that Wilder gets is similar to that of Mike Tyson. That's how it's becoming where you got to watch this guy because at any one moment he could turn out your life.
Must-see TV.
Must-see TV.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And then Milt, we had the fights on the undercard. We already talked about Chris Colbert getting his win over Titus Williams.
Right.
Let's go ahead and talk about Sean Porter. I want to talk about Sean Porter's performance over Granados and what happened at the press conference.
The press conference,
you know,
was
when
not as interesting as the fight was.
Yeah, it was just as interesting. What'd you think about his win over Granados, man?
I thought it was a solid win. I don't know what Granados was thinking that he had won that fight. But he was game. I got to give it to Granados, and I knew he was going to be. Mm-hmm. He's a tough out for anybody at 140, 147. And he's saying that he had been saying for quite a while that he wanted to go back down and campaign at 140, which I think he should. If he's still making that weight comfortably, he probably should go back down to 140. I don't think he has that crack at 47 that he has down at 40. And so, but he was game. He gave it all he had. He took some serious honey from Sean Porter. He took some good shots, but he was banging off the ropes. But with Sean's style, it's just hard, man, to get a hold of that dude, man. It's like unless you got superior boxing skill or you bigger and strong enough to handle him on the inside like Kell Brook did, you're gonna have some problems with Sean Porter. Mm-hmm. Another thing I noticed last night though, the Danny Garcia fight, if that would have happened, I think that would be a very, a pretty competitive fight. That's going to be a competitive fight. I thought that he would, edge. I thought that Danny was probably kind of not, interested in the fight because of Porter's power and what he brings.
Aggression
but I think Danny would give him a damn good fight. So
I
think that fight needs to happen.
I give Granados a lot of credit because if you notice, Granados was one of the only fighters to have his back against the ropes and fight Porter toe-to-toe comfortably.
Right.
A lot of people, Porter make a lot of fighters uncomfortable when he get him on the ropes.
Right.
This dude, there were times when he actually had Sean Porter backing up.
I saw that.
Which I know Porter, he said he broke his hand and he wanted to quit and his dad kept him, going, which is a cool story, but at the same time, though, man, I give Granados a lot of credit.
Give him a lot of credit, bro.
He's one of them type of fighters that can continue to make money, go back down to fight at 140. So Ray, did you talk to Porter or Granados after the fight? Your thoughts on that fight?
I didn't talk to Porter or Granados, guys, but I saw them both a lot during the week. And I'll tell you this. When it comes to Sean Porter, it's unfortunate that he injured his left hand. For Adrian Granados, look, with what Sean Porter did to Andre Berto in April, nobody does that to Andre Berto.
Yeah,
that's true. Granados to be able to go 12 hard rounds against Sean Porter, I think his stock only just continues to rise. But I want to see Granados back at 140. And then to me, that stands out because, as you mentioned, Dontae, I do a lot of the PBC. I do all the FS1 shows, and I see a lot of the young prospects. There's a kid by the name of Mario Barrios. He's at 140.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a beast.
I'd like to see Adrian Granados fight.
Yeah.
With the winner of that fight fighting the new champion at 140, Sergey Lipinets, who picked up a win over Akihiro Kondo. So I think that's what I would like to see when it comes to Adrian Granados moving forward.
Yeah, those are some good possibilities and good matchups. I'm just wondering. Well, I don't even know how he. I know he and AB were supposed to fight at 140, and then maybe I think the week of or a couple weeks before the fight, I think AB and his camp switched it to 147. But I think that fight was supposed to have been.
What are you talking about? AB and not Porter.
AB and Granados.
Oh, okay.
Remember
they switched it to 147.
They switched it to 147, and I think that's how he got at 147.
Yeah.
He had been fighting at 147, went down to 140. Was at 140. He said he felt comfortable, and that's where he caught Imam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering how wasn't he able? Because what I was thinking was how wasn't he able to ride on that momentum of beating a hot contender like Imam at 140? Why didn't he stay down at 140? But I think
probably because them opportunities.
Yeah,
Hey, what's going on? We got my man Chris Thomas. You guys y'all seen him on my channel going viral sparring at the Mayweather gym. He was the one that body slammed your boy Will Clemens in there. Chris, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Dontae?
All right, man. What you been up to?
Just working, just trying to perfect my craft. That's all.
Hey, what did you think about Deontay Wilder's performance against Bermain Stiverne this past weekend?
Burns, I know Burns. Burns is my homie. I done trained next to him like a couple of years. He used to be at the Mayweather gym. He had got the WBC belt. He did well. And then Dontae took it from him. I mean, not Dontae, but Wilder took it from him. He bombed him. Then second time around, we was watching it last night. Got set up. He said a lot of things was not up to date when the fight came. He was dehydrated, et cetera, et cetera. I think that was bad to even speak on some faults that you made before the fight, before you lost. If you won, you wouldn't have made those accusations. That's what I'm saying. Like fail to prepare to fail. At the end of the day, the rules to the boxing world. So I say that to say, the fight was very entertaining, man. I liked the Porter fight too. I liked the guy that was on the show earlier. I watched his fight warming up the ring.
Lil Bhop,
it was a lot of great matches on that night. But the fight went down with Berman. It was like the bell ring. He was like bop bop. He went down. And reason I think that he was able to get off those two shots on Berman is because he I think he remember or he recall information. When he was in the corner, most fighters run out of the corner and keep on, on their horse. He turned off the corner and then just shot. He did right. He didn't leave that gap too long. That when they turn a fighter and they get out the corner, they walk away from that. It's the fact they didn't get hit or they admire their work. But at that moment, he stopped and noticed that he just turned and he let his hands go. Berman went down. Berman got up, showed his heart. He tried to shake it off. He pop, pop, pop. He hit him again. He went back down again. He got up again. Like a true champion, he did get up 3 times. Can't take that from him. He did come to fight. His intentions was to fight. It's just the bomb squad was the better man that night. It was bombed away.
Yeah,
murder was the case.
He got up again, and it was pop, 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 pop. You're done now.
Yeah. And it was it was kind of reminiscent of Tyson versus Trevor Berbick. The way Trevor Berbick tried to get up. That was kind of this Bermain Stiverne situation. Which I hope Bermain is okay. But man, when you look
heart
at
of a fighter, though, he trying his best, man, to make it happen. But the legs and the brain aren't going together. What say, Ray?
Right. I agree. I think. Honestly, I knew it was made for destruction when they was talking about killing each other. I knew it was bad blood then. Like they was not holding back, saying that on like national television. You got to think about the younger versions and watching the sport. And
right.
I knew what Wilder was saying when he said he was gonna body him. That's our term as knock him.
Right.
I don't think they caught that slang. They took that literally. Like, I'm going to kill you. So he said, well, I'll just run with it. I'm going to kill him.
Well, they were having a killing rap battle at the press conference, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, true. It was nice. That was really nice. I liked that. That was really cool. I liked the press the most. When Berman dropped the glasses,
Yeah, that was smooth. That was smooth. And you know what? Because you just said that, Chris, I mean, you just really got to wonder, how Bermain is going to deal with this because, he had the excuse that he was dehydrated in the first fight. And as you guys see the picture I have on the screen right now, that is a cold shot right there.
Man.
I got the image for you guys on the line right now, and I got that image of Bermain. What's up?
You got the 1-2 up?
No. I
looked like he just limboed.
I got the one where he doubled over, where he literally looks like he got shot in the head.
He looked like he limboing underneath the bottom rope, like he just did the limbo.
The limbo, yeah, exactly. That's the limbo shot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right now he's folded up like a shirt at the polo outlet,
and he's trying to limbo under the bottom rope right now.
For real, that was a perfect example. He does look like one of those shirts you go purchase.
Man.
And then the referee's on his back. That don't make it no much better.
No, man.
Yeah, that don't help the situation at all.
Like
no.
That's That's a nice little photograph.
Oh man, it's a beautiful shot. It's unfortunate, when you want to.
I know, man.
Like that's classic.
Yeah, but hey, but
put that on the yeah, that's all bad. But Berman, I think Berman, honestly, with Berman, I don't know. I know it took him a long time even to fight again.
Yeah.
After that loss, it took him a long time to even fight again. So I don't know what he's gonna do after this. I know he's a tough dude. I know he's a champion at heart. I'm glad he didn't come with excuses after what happened. I respect him for that. I'm glad.
Oh man, Cass is clowning in the
saying nothing. I'm glad. I'm hope he's just taking on the chin like, yo, he got me.
Hey, yeah.
Speculations of he wasn't this or that is gonna make him look bad as a champion.
Yeah.
He just say he got me. He got me that guy. He took off on me. He got it. He got one.
Yeah.
So simple as that.
Yeah, and once again, man, at least Bermain, he won the title, before, and I hope he's okay.
Exactly. He already done it. He did complete his task in being a champion. That's why I take my hat off to him.
Right,
he
man.
was once a champion. He was WBC champion.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
You got to respect it. No one can take that from him.
Nope.
But Bombs.
Yeah, man, that's what it is.
Think about the Anthony. Let's talk about the Anthony and Wilder, man. Let's get on to the good stuff.
Well, you heard what, and real quick, somebody in the comment section, he said that's the new yoga position right there. That's what my man said in the comment section. But Anthony Deontay Wilder. He called Anthony Joshua. What did he call him? He said A Juicing J.
A Juicing J.
Yeah, A Juicing J.
Yeah,
man,
interesting.
Interesting. That's a hell of an accusation right there.
Do you squat when you piss?
Yeah, he said, do you squat when you piss?
Anthony juicing too?
No, that's what Wilder. That's what Wilder is accusing. Wilder believes.
Oh, wow.
Wilder.
Yeah. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that. The kid still looked like he looked in the Olympics.
I know. Yeah, I don't think that he.
That's the guy, man. I think you already know. Wilder, the guy. That's the heavyweight champion of the world, pound for pound. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I don't think he should go into that ring with those type of accusations. I think he should keep it 100 like he's been doing. I don't think he should be. I understand that he went through trials and tribulations with these other fighters, juicing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he should put that fault onto Anthony because I like both of those two guys, and I think that's a real great fight.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. It get
and that's kind of whack, man, because Anthony still looked like he did in the Olympics. Honestly,
yeah,
he looks the same, man.
Yeah, I mean he's bigger, but he has that same frame. He has the same makeup, the same build. Right, exactly. The same frame and everything. Of course, he's matured. Exactly. He's older. He's put on more muscle, and which I think to his detriment because I've seen even in the Klitschko fight and in his last fight, he looked like he was a little bit gassed around round 5, 6. He was breathing heavy. Breathing through the mouth real heavy. When they were taking breaks to look at Tackham's eye, he was leaned up against the rope, man, like he was really taking a breather. And I'm like, having that much muscle, that's not boxing muscle. Having that much muscle, man, it could hurt him, especially
against you.
Yeah,
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And so he was breathing extremely heavy, man. But that to me, that right there says, because usually if you're taking performance enhancing drug, usually they help you recuperate and they'll help you to keep from getting tired.
I mean, I'm not gonna make no accusations until he turns down a test or something like that.
Right.
I mean, there's been other.
Right, and I agree with you, Dontae. If it's not on paper, I'm not buying it.
No,
They don't test him and say that because I don't want to take nothing from his. I mean, Wilder got to understand there's other great people in this world too. He's screaming that he's so great. He got to understand that God didn't stop making great people when they made him. So that's why we're going to fight each other. We're going to find out who's the greatest.
Hopefully Anthony gets in the ring. Hopefully Anthony fights him, though. I mean, because, what Deontay Wilder is basically saying is, either two things are keeping the fight from happening. Either he's juicing right now or, he doesn't have the confidence to get in the ring, or both. And that's what Deontay Wilder is saying. So, but we'll find out.
But Dontae, you don't think it's good business for him not to get in this year? He just fought Klitschko. It's it's good business not to take Dontae Wilder right after that. You got to enjoy your being a champ.
And that's the thing. And I, hey man,
well, especially if you don't think you're gonna win the fight, Chris. I mean, or you think you may lose it.
That's true. But I mean, we be logical. Only person that's able to get to on Wilder in and out of that long reach is gonna be Anthony. That's the only guy I see able to get in and out of there. Berman was too big to get in and out. That's why Dontae made it easy for Wilder to hit him. Because Wilder reach is amazing. Yeah. His reach is amazing. His delivery is amazing. The only way I see someone beating him is to get inside. And the only person I see that's able to get inside and be aggressive after he did that uppercut action to Klitschko is Anthony. So I agree that they should do it next year, but definitely not this year. That's just, that's just talk. That's not even smart business. Like on Anthony, if he is holding out, I hope he's holding out to give us a good next year. But this year for him to fight him would be silly, man. After fighting Klitschko, a legend, someone you grew up watching, you got to let that settle. That it does something to your brain. You got to soak all that energy up. By the time he realized he accomplished that, then I think he'll be ready. And I think Wilder is definitely ready. He don't need no time.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And Ray, Ray, let me ask you about this Joseph Parker situation. So now Joseph Parker, he has a belt, but no one is even talking about him. And Joseph Parker hasn't really called out either one of these guys. I mean, what do you think is going to happen with Joseph Parker in that belt, Ray?
I think Joseph Parker should end up having to go ahead and build up more of his name, guys, because, look, Deontay Wilder wants Anthony Joshua. The question is now is Uncle Eddie Hearn, or whatever people want to call him, does he want to let and put his man, Anthony Joshua, at risk that way? They want to go ahead and talk about the home field advantage, Wembley Stadium, blah, blah, blah. Look, Deontay Wilder is the man here in the States. The American money, amount of money from a television standpoint, would be through the roof. Sponsorship-wise,
exactly.
Would be unbelievable.
Exactly.
We know that the Brits travel, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the Brits will travel to Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
For this fight. It'll be huge. So I think Joseph Parker needs to keep building up his name. And for Deontay Wilder, now he has Dominic Brazil as his mandatory. So if Joshua doesn't want to fight Wilder, because Wilder wants to fight against Joshua, and look, Wilder was willing to go to Russia to fight Povetkin, and people don't remember that too much.
Right.
Say, well, Wilder go over to England. They need to realize Wilder was going to fight Russia or fight Povetkin in Russia. So now, with Wilder's name exploding more, let Joshua come here. Brazil's gone there. Charles Martin's gone there. So many names have gone over there from here. Mr. Joshua, come here stateside.
Thank you. He needs to cross the pond.
There it is.
He needs to cross the pond.
Of course he has to come to the States. He better come to the States, and nobody's going to want to see it.
Yeah. Well, they'll want to see it out there in the UK, but once again,
they will want to see it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly.
They're going to come here. It should happen in Vegas.
Hey, look, I tell you this, you're a hell of a media guy, man. And if you're in New York for the Jacobs fight, ask Eddie Hearn. Say, hey, why don't you bring your man here? You talked about bringing Anthony Joshua here. Why don't you bring him here? I guarantee you, when they saw that knockout from Deontay Wilder, Stiverne, the fear of God was in their eyes, guys. Joshua, Eddie Hearn, and all their minions. And you know what? I don't typically talk that way, but you know what? Deontay Wilder is the baddest man on the planet. I said it yesterday. I'm saying it today. I will say it tomorrow. I will say it up until I kiss his name. Anthony Joshua can say all he wants, but he's going to need a lot of Under Armour. He's going to need a lot of tea, because that man is going to get wrecked. And they are trying to buy time until Deontay Wilder lands that sledgehammer right hand, and then it's 99, Mr. Joshua.
and it's crazy, Ray, that you just said they're trying to buy time, because, Anthony Joshua, if you listen to some of his interviews, he literally said, I'm not going to be forced into taking this fight. I don't know when. this fight is going to happen. He said it may.
2020.
He said it might be 2019. It may even be 2020.
Yeah.
You know, so like Ray just said, I mean, he's not lying.
No.
He didn't sugarcoat anything.
Nope.
Anthony himself said, you know, it may take some time.
And the thing is,
to make that fight.
I just, you know, I've been on the wire.
And we're going to take a call, guys, in a minute. We'll take a call in a minute, guys. Go ahead, Chris.
I think Dontae Wilder can get the guy with the belt right now, the guy y'all just talking about. Saying
Joseph Parker?
Yeah, I think he got rounds left in him right now.
Listen, no, but Joshua,
I think he got the ammo and everything.
Well, we got to see if Joseph wants that fight, though. We got to see if Joseph wants that fight with Wilder.
I've been on the line, and I saw where Eddie Hearn is already in negotiations with Joseph Parker for
Interesting. Interesting.
and he lowballed him. He offered him an 80-20 split. He offered him a 20% purse take on for a Joshua unification bout.
Really?
Yeah. And so Joseph Parker's camp is hot. They like, hey man, you can't come at us. They was like, we weren't expecting 50-50, but you ain't gonna come at us with no 20% split on the purse. And so now,
go ahead, Ray.
Don't let Eddie Hearn bamboozle people, or don't let him say, the UK TV money is crazy out there. But he could say that they got 1.4 million, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. So let me explain something, Dontae. The pay-per-view prices are only $25. So of course they're going to sell 1.5 million. You put Dontae Wilder here stateside and make the pay-per-view $30. Can you imagine the numbers?
Oh my God, man! Globally,
don't come at me with,
globally,
the pay-per-view numbers 1.4 million, 1.5 million. It's more expensive for me to go to a movie than to order your pay-per-view out there, man. It's not even half. So don't come at me with those crazy numbers, Eddie. The numbers are lying. Typically, numbers don't lie, but the numbers are lying, and I'm calling you out.
and Ray just did the math. And Ray Flores just did the math right now, man. That's what it is. Let me go ahead and also introduce my man Ron Fitch, who was out there actually covering the fight for Dontae's Boxing Nation. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, I told Lou DiBello that the Joshua camp, they're going to delete his number after that fight.
They're going to put him, they're going to block him. You know, so
they're gonna block him. When I interviewed Wilder, I said in the 20 years I covered boxing, I never seen a guy knock another guy out whose guard was up, who was ready for the punch, who normally was in the perfect position, and he still knocked him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he still knocked him down, and he still got up on noodle legs while he was, you know, getting hit by a shot that was partially blocked, you know, or mainly blocked. Yeah. So no, I totally agree with you. So we already asked Ray, but let me get your perspective, man. How was that atmosphere over there, man? And I want to know, how was the reaction in the crowd? Because I was there, you know, for Charlo Lubin, and you know, it went so damn silent. You know, you could hear a mouse piss, you know, up in there. You know how quiet it was in there. So I know, by way of contrast, how was that reaction when Wilder knocked out Bermain out there, Ron?
It was electric. The people in Brooklyn really take to Wilder because they sense he's a great American champion.
Yeah,
he has charisma like Ali and like Riddick Bowe had in the 90s, and they're taking to him, and they're excited about that. You know, and they're hoping that you'll see a Joshua fight, but you won't. I mean, I hope he doesn't fight Brazil because I don't want to see a fatality in the ring.
Oh my God!
Brazil's a good fighter. He's quite sloppy. Good fighter, and it's personal. It's the mandatory. If they do it, this should be a precedent where they have the ER and everybody stood up just in case so they could rush them to the hospital.
Yeah, and man, that would be graphic.
But they got bad blood, man. Graphic. They got really bad blood.
He's knocking out Brazil in a vicious way, man.
Oh man,
I mean, no doubt about it. So and then to me, Dominic Brazil, to me, he's kind of like, you know, dare I say, kind of like a new Areola. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it comes to the defense,
right?
Because you know he's aggressive, but he gets hit, he gets knocked down all the time, and that's kind of reminds me of Areola. You don't want to have a style like that.
Who was the guy, man?
Against Wilder.
who was the guy that had Brazil? I mean, he had him. He had him beat Mansour.
Mm-hmm.
He had him beat too, man. And
yeah.
And I think he broke his jaw or something.
He injured something inside of his mouth or whatever. Yeah, that was a.
And I'm like, he was rocking Brazil, man.
Yeah. Every time he hit him, he was rocking.
Yeah, and then he went over there and got his ass whooped by Joshua. And then I mean, that was an annihilation.
Yes, it was.
And
you know what I like about Wilder? He's not the most technically sound boxer in the world, but he's got that bone crusher power. But his athleticism, he's like a power forward from the NBA in the ring with his agility and that reach.
Yeah.
And he uses that long reach. And long, lanky fighters do have a lot of power. You think of Hearns, you think of Mark Breland.
Right.
A lot of guys in that bowl do. Like, a lot of guys have that power because of their arms and length.
Right.
And I think that's going to help if he ever fought Joshua, because Joshua is a good, sound fighter, but, he's so muscular. It affects his agility a little bit.
Right.
That's why Klitschko was able to put him down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, let's go ahead and take a call. You guys can feel free, go ahead and call in if you want. We got a whole lot to talk about. I still want to talk about Sean Porter and the media asking him, why he's been reluctant to fight Errol Spence. We're going to talk about that. Talk about Lomachenko sparring with Shakur Stevenson and what Rigo had to say and
Dmitry Bivol.
Sergey Lipinets.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's just go and take a call real quick. Let me see here. So we have 469. What's going on? What's your name and where you calling from, man?
Hey man, my name is Mike. I'm actually at the gym right now. I'm just getting off the treadmill.
That's what's up.
I've listened to your show for probably since you got started. Now I'm just sorry, man. I'm a fighter. I'm working hard.
Get it in. Wait, what gym you at? Rep your gym. What city? What gym? What city?
Yeah.
Right now I'm in Mesquite, out close to Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I'm at a 24-hour fitness, just getting in some cardio. Just
gotcha.
Ran 8 miles today, hour on the stair stepper. But that's what I wanted to say, man. I like Deontay Wilder. I think he's a great American heavyweight, but I don't think I see him actually being as far as top ranked as people are ranking him right now, man. Like, I guess it's a vision because it's.
Who do you rank above him?
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, I don't even rank anybody at 1 right now. I feel like they all just need a fight, and I'm getting kind of tired of waiting on it. But I know that Parker guy, I ain't got no faith in him, man. He's gonna be out of here. Next big guy he fights. I think he lost to Andy, to be honest with you. I think that was an embarrassment, for to be a championship fight. But as far as Wilder goes, man, I'd like to see him just get in there with not. I want to see him fight Joshua, but I want to see him fight Jarrell Miller, I think it is.
Big Baby.
Big Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Baby would like that too.
I want to see him fight. I want to see him give some Americans a shot. Don't always just give money over the pond. I'm not really into the whole UK thing. I'm into it, but it's not. I think he should give some Americans a chance to make some money, man. I don't think. I don't think. What?
Well, this is one of the reasons why is because none of the people that you're naming or any of these other fighters, they're not holding titles. And Deontay Wilder is excellent point. He's chasing titles. He wants to be king.
Champion wants to fight the champion.
The champion want to fight champions, man, and that's what it boils down to. I know what you're saying. The landscape of the heavyweight division is not what it was back 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's not that, but what it is what it is right now. And there can only be one. It's like the Highlander. There's only one person can be king, and he wants to be the king. That's the reason why he's putting the pressure on.
And on top of that, to respond to what he said earlier. No one said that Deontay Wilder was the best and he's better than everyone.
Right.
Everything we're talking about, what we're saying is we want to see the best fight the best. Exactly. And Deontay Wilder is the only one that's willing to do that right now.
Right.
So no one has said. Go ahead, Ron.
I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed too in the. Sorry to interrupt. But I'm disappointed in all the failed drug tests, man. That's just bad for boxing, man. I'm so sick of that, man. I feel bad for him on that, bro. That's disgusting,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I hear you, man. Well, we'll see what happens in the future, man. But but thanks for your call, man. I'm gonna get to another one. All right, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dontae.
What's going on, man?
Dontae. Hey, I wanted to speak on what he was talking about.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
On the guy, the fighter just got off the phone. I wanted to.
You sound a little low, Chris. You sound just a little low.
I wanted to ask that fighter on the phone a couple of questions, and I also wanted to speak on what he was saying about boxing in the UK. I mean, I want him to understand that boxing is universal. This is not about whether or not they're in America or not. If they're putting on shows like that guy Anthony is doing, then we want to fight him no matter if he's not here or not. I don't think we should be overlooking a country because the guy is from a different country. It should not take anything away from him as far as competitiveness, as far as wanting to see him fight. And styles make fight. And Anthony and Wilder are good fights. Anthony Wilder, he has a technique where he can box you, and then he can go from boxing you to fighting you, and at a switch of a at a moment, switches gears so fast and it's nice.
Yeah,
and that's what we love about him. And whether people realize that or not, they can say, "Oh, we really don't have the skills that was back then." That's because it was a different style of boxing back then. It was all skill orientated. Now we have branched off because we have UFC, so people like to see a little mix. They want to see boxing, they want to see fighting, they want to see brawling, they want to see if you can mix it up.
Absolutely.
Like compare him to back then. This is not back then. This is now. And
right.
He's acting like you guys saying to fight whoever.
It's whoever.
But see, it kind of annoys me though when people create their own narrative and then they argue their own point.
Right.
Like kind of like the dude calling in right now. He said, "Hey, well, I'm not gonna say that he's the best and he's the." Like I said, that's never been the conversation.
It's never been the conversation.
The conversation is, when are we going to see Anthony Joshua get in there with him? If Deontay Wilder, if he's overrated, if he's wild, if he's fighting nothing but bums, that should be more of a reason. Usually, like I said, fighters are in line, to get in with a guy who look like he's a flawed fighter.
Exactly.
If everyone is saying he's the boogeyman and you looking at him like, wait a minute, this guy is not as good as the public is saying he is. Right. I can't wait to expose this guy. That's usually how it is.
Right.
It's not this way where you say, well, I'm not going to be forced to fight this guy and I don't know when it's going to happen. It'll happen one day. You know what I mean? So,
man.
But that's
what Deontay Wilder is looking for is to create the Deontay Wilder era. He wants the lineal. He wants to be the lineal champion. He wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And only one man is really preventing him from being that, and that is Anthony Joshua. He's the only one that's standing in his way of him being undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Because then we will know who really is the best heavyweight in the world right now.
And then after that, then everybody else can fall in line. If he gets his hands on those titles, then it's like everybody else, which I'm still trying to do the math on how Martin was coaxed over to, England to fight Joshua, and Joshua lifted that title off Martin when Wilder was already a champion. How is it that he couldn't unify with that?
He got how is it Martin got a shot at Anthony Joshua right away as soon as he got the title,
right?
Which was reminiscent of when Danny Garcia got the title.
Exactly.
As soon as Danny got the title, Keith Thurman called him out right away.
Right.
And then when Errol Spence got the title, it was a little bit of a different story.
Different story.
But
fellas, I want to tell you something in boxing. 2 + 2 = 20 in boxing.
Oh man, I use that analogy, and decaps will try to convince you. They'll try to convince you, and which is exactly what I said. 2 + 2 is 5. They'll try to convince you that it's 5. And you have about 100,000 people telling you that. As soon as you say no, it's 4, they getting pissed off and looking at you crazy. That's
Hey man, I know it doesn't always follow in line, man. It don't follow suit.
It doesn't add up. The logic don't add up.
It don't lie. Yeah.
The logic does not add up.
And then Deontay is like holding his title, and then all of a sudden when Fury has to vacate all of the titles, because like we say, cocaine is a hell of a drug. He has to vacate all of his titles because he ain't got his mind right. He's not fighting. Then they just go to the 4 wins, and then Deontay Wilder doesn't get he is not considered for any of the straps. It is like this dude doesn't even exist or something. I mean, I don't even understand how he didn't even get an opportunity to unify for any of them.
Yeah.
And they just now they just all rest with AJ.
Yeah, and before we get into a lot of the other fights, Milt, let's go ahead and bring Kirk Jackson in.
Hey,
Kirk, you
always love talking with Kirk, man.
Yeah, Kirk, you sent me a text and you said as soon as he knocked him out, you said he took his heart away. Go ahead and explain that and your reaction to that knockout, Kirk.
Man, when he hit him with that first jab, or when he hurt him and he knocked him down, you can just see with Stiverne's body language, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
man. It seemed like every punch that Wilder landed was snatching that man's soul away. You could just tell, like, when he knocked him down the second time, he had his head turned, his back turned to the referee, and the referee was trying to talk to him, like, you want to continue? You can just tell, like, you can tell in his mind, he was saying, I don't want anymore. And Wilder, you know, his whole confidence, you know, you can see it, you know, from the body language. You can see everything, how he threw his jab, how he stood with his hands down. Yeah. You know, it was daring Bermain. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Kirk, did you catch what he told the ref after that first knockdown?
He hit him behind the
head.
Yeah,
he said he hit me behind the head.
He was out of it, I think, at that time.
Oh, was he?
That's what I think. You know,
I'm like, man.
You know, when you hurt like that, you liable to hear somebody say, "Oh, he just bit me. He just bit me on my back. He just bit me on my back." There's 3 of them in there, ref. There's 3 of them. His coach just hit me. You know, you expecting to hear all kind of stuff when you get hurt like that.
Oh,
you know?
man.
But
yeah, man.
That was a testament. Like, he didn't know what day it was when he got hit. He thought it was probably Monday or something.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Somebody said in the comment section that they asked him where he was, and he said he was in Manhattan. I didn't hear that right there. I don't know if dude was just messing around, but
he might have been, man.
Yeah, that was. Hey, but I want to go ahead and play this clip real quick. So once again, Sean Porter, you know, he gets his win over Adrian Granados. And in the post-fight press conference, a reporter, he asked him why is he so reluctant to fight against Errol Spence and what type of relationship he has with Errol Spence. So this is what he had to say. And Ron, we'll get you to talk about this because you was there at the press conference. But let's just play this small little clip of what my man Ron got. Here we go.
I'm not reluctant to talk about fighting Errol Spence. I just feel like right now with him being a IBF champion and, you know, me being, 3 years past that now, that, you know, to me he is not irrelevant, but he's just like on the other side right now. I'm going for the WBC title, this green title. It's something that I'm really passionate about. And that's why I continue to move forward past that. I'll tell you how close we are. I just got his number back in August. I hadn't had his number before August, and that was because he wanted to connect and play basketball when he came to Las Vegas. So I made that happen for him. But outside of that, I don't text him. He doesn't call me or anything like that. But you know, when we see each other, as always with every fighter, you're respectful and cordial to one another. But it's not a relationship where we talk all the time or anything like that. My dad and I, we went over to England to support him, hoping he would.
Okay, guys, so I just played a little clip, and I know you guys on the line, I don't think you guys can actually hear the actual clip, but once again, just to kind of relay the message, what he just said. He said he's not reluctant to fight Errol Spence, and when it comes to his relationship with Errol Spence, he said he just recently got his number, and he said it was because Errol Spence wanted to play basketball, so they played basketball. And before that part, Sean Porter said something that was really interesting. Before the reporter asked him this, he said the only guys I want to fight. Keyword, he said the only guys I want was who, Milt?
Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia.
Key word was only. So so Ron, you were there at the press conference. So just kind of go ahead if you could detail exactly how that.
I wanna break this down because I have to kind of check out because I'm working on my own podcast. But I want to break this down
for sure.
I kind of understand where he's coming from, but I don't understand where he's coming from. I understand that he wants to fight Thurman, and that's good, and he eventually does want to fight Spence, but you can't call Spence irrelevant when he's potentially the best welterweight in the division talent-wise, and he's a monster talent. and he's a rising star. So you have to give him his acknowledgement that that's the elephant in the room. But I do understand you want the rematch with Thurman badly, and you want to work that out because you have an injury and he has an injury, and that works out. But you have to fight him eventually. If you beat Thurman, that next question is going to be, now what about Spence? And you can't hide from that. If you're able to get your rematch with Thurman and win, that next question is going to be, what about Spence? And you can't run from that. You may get away past this time because, okay, we're going to see this rematch with Thurman, but eventually you or Thurman or Crawford will fight anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Crawford don't care.
And so will Errol Spence.
Somebody's going to have to fight Spence. I mean, you just can't say, well, maybe next year, maybe next year. No, now. Somebody's going to have to fight. When you fight Thurman, the winner of that is got to go fight Spence, or then people are not going to respect that. So you got to do it. And Porter's my man because we had this great off the conversation.
Hey.
So I hope that works out. And I do like Thurman too because I got to talk with him too, and Spence. So that's going to be kind of a great round. The welterweight division is crazy good. I do want to comment this before I go. I like how Porter uses aggression this time. He did a lot of headbutting before, and he was kind of wild. He's more aggressive and more tactical. He uses jab more, and he was able to land punches, even though he didn't smother his punches like sometimes he does. He uses distance correctly, and he uses aggression correctly, and now he's more effective, and he's getting better. So that is the one good thing about Porter. Being I've seen him live a couple times, I sense that his team has really honed in his skills, and he's still aggressive, but he's more technical this time. And he uses jab and used some great right hands. That guy had a chin of iron, or he'd have been out of there.
Hey, yeah, Granados. I'm telling you, he can take some. He can take some money.
Yeah, I mean, he showed angles. Sean Porter showed good angles. Good foot movement in the ring. He was boxing good jab. He was showing in there. And once again, I know the Porters personally. They my peoples. But yeah, I mean, when we talking real, I mean, we just know what it is when it comes to Errol Spence. We know that no one is in a hurry to fight against Errol Spence, and that's the reputation that Deontay Wilder is starting to build too.
I know.
So that's just the truth. I mean, it's no reason to sugarcoat that. Nobody is in a hurry, and skill recognize skill.
Right.
If I was a welterweight champion, that would be the last person I would want to fight.
Hey, remember in Rocky? Remember in Rocky when he was like, "Yeah, I want to fight that dude." He was like, "Listen, champ, you don't need them problems in your life right now." It's like, listen, man, you don't need them type problems in your life right now, man. I think they're kind of
need that kind of man in our life.
No, not those type problems.
What's going on, Money?
Is that Mr. Money?
My man, Money. My man, Money Powell the third.
Oh man,
what's going on, Money?
What's happening? Hey, man, smooth, brother. Hey, it's all good, man. Can't
Always
complain.
a pleasure.
Yeah, I want to see I want to know what type of reaction you had, man. Face expression and everything when you seen that boy just come down timber status in that first knockdown, Money.
I'll tell you what, I was like a fan for real. I mean, I jumped up in the air. I was like, yeah, but when I saw the jab, it was electrifying. I said, anything that Stiverne was thinking that he was going to take the jab away, it was erased from existence. Almost right in there. When he got hit with that right hand and I saw him go down, I said, it's over. When I saw him get up and I saw his feet drag on the ground, I said, it's only a matter of time now. I said, all the hope and everything, and he got collected like taxes last night.
Yeah.
He did.
And let me say this.
Folded up like laundry in that last knockdown.
Oh my goodness. The limbo, man. Like that's a cold picture that they have. I'm gonna put it back.
Oh man,
I'm gonna put it back up. Hey, but real quick, let me go ahead and shout out the super chat DBN section. Shout out to my man Ed Valencia showing that love in the super chat section. He said, "DBN, let's get this party started. Support DBN, Milt." What it is, appreciate you guys. I appreciate that to my man Ed Valencia, man. I appreciate everybody supporting DBN Live and everything, man. So, with that being said, Milt, let's also go ahead and talk about this. The other wins. You had go ahead and talk about some of the other Limpinets.
One of the things I wanted to say about that one was big ups to Buddy
I'm sorry, and Ron, Ron, did you hang up yet? Okay, yeah, because Ron
I did not. I got one question.
Sure.
And plug your show and go ahead and plug your podcast so they could follow you too.
I'm on 11 o'clock, Coast to Coast Radio, talking about college football, NFL, NBA, and then, of course this fight. And but I do want to say the one fight, the last fight before Porter, it wasn't 118, 110. I don't know what the guy was drinking.
Nah, yeah,
that was an extremely close fight. Mm-hmm.
This has to stop. And that's what I want to end with. This we got it. I'll let you guys talk because I'm gonna hang up. But the judges, come on, we got to get some. I'm glad you're doing this show where you tell the absolute truth
all day.
I think Fox Nation brings the absolute truth, and that's how I'm going to end it.
That's what it is, man. And you know what? And somebody in the comment section, this is what I'm saying. Look at this right here. See, I'm trying to. If you guys disagree with anything that we're saying, we have professional. I mean, and this is the cool thing. We got a perspective from professional boxers, boxing announcers,
right,
commentators,
insiders,
and everyone is in sync.
Right.
It's all logically making sense. Even if we slightly disagree, we don't have to always agree, but it logically all makes sense. But you notice a lot of people that'll be in the comment section, they'll say something crazy, but we want you guys to call in though. Once again, don't be afraid. We just talking boxing. Nobody's going to intimidate you or take your lunch money or nothing like that. Just go ahead and call in and let us know what you disagree with. I say that because it was some people in the comment section. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, bias true. Tell us what's bias. Don't just put it out there all vague and not explain yourself. Because if I call you biased, it's going to be a damn novel. I'm going to write and explain why.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you side-by-side comparisons. I'm going to pull up clips and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to just say, Jim Lampley is biased and leave it at that. No. It's going to be about 20 videos with clips, with side-by-side clips. You know what I mean? So
break it down like CSI.
Yeah, so call in, guys. The number's on the screen, man. Call in. Let us know what you think. Shout out to my man Nico showing love in that super chat DBN Army section. Donating to Dontae. He said Canadian boxing fans.
Oh, what's
listen
up?
to DBN while I'm at work daily. Good looking out, Nick. I appreciate that, man. So once again, man, we want to get them to call in. And someone else, real quick, before we continue the conversation, I was trying to go back to it, but somebody basically said Dontae. He said Dontae call out Kenny Porter, on the Errol Spence situation, and he was like, you're the truth or whatever we expect, something like that. I'm looking for the comment. I was just paraphrasing what he said because the comments are moving up quick. But once again, to respond to the dude who said that, I've already interviewed Sean Porter and Kenny Porter tons of times where we talked about Errol Spence. The video's up on my channel. So, once again, we'll get Kenny, or we'll get Kenny and Sean on the show, and we'll ask them again. But they were just asked at the press conference. So, we could just ask them the question again, but that's what it is, So, somebody said put the picture back up, please, Dontae. I guess they're talking about that limbo picture. Oh, okay, he's talking about, okay, yeah, but anyway. Yeah, so that's what it is. I'm sorry, but go ahead, Milton.
And then, that the scoring on that fight was horrible, and I think that Limpinets pulled it out in the last 2 rounds. He pulled it out in the championship rounds, if you ask me, because going into that round, I tell you, I watched the fight. I've watched these fights 3 times already, and what I saw in that fight was that he was busier throughout the round, but the what's his name? Kondo. Kondo. He came on and he was catching them with hard, vicious shots. The harder, more.
That's right.
He was the aggressor.
The more, shots that stood out the most within the round,
Right.
the eye-catching shots throughout it, and he closed the gap on him because Lipinets opened up earlier, maybe the first 3 to 4 rounds, but after that, it was, Kondo started battling back and was hitting him with good, hard, vicious shots, and I just don't understand the scoring on that contest because 118, 110, that was ridiculous. And I think the other two judges had it 117, 111. Yeah, and I just, it was a really good fight. Really good fight.
Yeah.
We had a graphic we were going to show you guys at 140. How all the titles had been vacated because we want to make sure we keep the eye on the champions.
Yeah.
And it was
I'll try to pull that
awesome graphic, man,
Yeah.
where it was like there was no champion at 140. So that speaks volumes.
All the titles were vacant.
And that's the only weight division it was. And it just speaks volumes to how great Crawford is. Because the thing is, man, unifying doesn't happen all the time, man. It don't happen every day. And when it does, man, I think the young man should be recognized for it. So shout out to Terrence Bud Crawford, man, for unifying. But now that he's vacated, man, Lipinets is the first one to see the title since it's been vacated. So congratulations. But again, congratulations to Buddy McGirt. I'm glad to see him, back training, at that level again.
And he has one of them motivational voices too, man.
Yeah. He beats a fighter.
He be pushing
He does.
you.
Yeah.
He be really, really pushing you. It's crazy because when I heard his voice again, we haven't heard it in so
It's so
long.
long.
It just
Right.
brought back,
Right.
memories of me hearing him pushing his fighters.
Right.
He be pushing them, boys. So and then you talking about somebody who was a former pound for pound champion himself.
Exactly,
So
man. I love Buddy, man. I love watching him fight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got a couple people on hold right now, but I had an anonymous caller, and he called in and hung up. But I like I said, man, I want to get. It's just once again, I have to reiterate. It's amazing to me. When you speaking the truth,
Right.
When people who fill up the comment section, because it's easy to just put something down, not having to deal with the confrontation, not having to deal with a
Exactly.
counter, a rebuttal, a logical rebuttal.
Right.
It's easy to just put whatever you want online.
Right.
But when you have the opportunity to call us up directly and talk that stuff, now all of a sudden you don't
How
want
you
that
pass
smoke.
up the opportunity? I don't know. If
Like
I
I
had
said,
something
just-
on my mind,
Like I said,
I'd call.
Imagine if somebody like Dan Raphael or Jim Lampley, they had an open forum and it was like, that's right, I said it. And if you believe this is BS, you can call me directly. God damn it!
Hey, man,
if
it
they
could get me
said,
out-
can you imagine how
Hey.
many people would be on?
Man, I'd be sitting
That's
on
what-
hold about 5 hours.
Yeah, but that's
Overloaded.
that's why they block people. Like even Dan Raphael, he blocked Guillermo Rigo. He
I
blocking
saw that.
boxers.
Yeah, he blocking. Blocking
How are
fighters.
you a writer and you blocking boxers? You know how biased. Talk about bias,
That's
man.
that's horrible.
Can you imagine if I blocked Golovkin, I blocked Lomachenko, from my Instagram? Can you imagine? Can you see how biased?
They already talking
that
about,
sounds.
hey.
This man is gonna block Guillermo Rigo.
That's horrible.
And he's got Rigo like, what did I do?
I know, right?
What did I do? You know what I'm saying? So this is hilarious stuff, man.
I know.
Hilarious stuff. But
Another
go
fight
ahead,
I
man.
want to talk about was Dimitri Bivol. He retained because he was the WBA regular and they made him the WBA champion, super champion after Andre Ward vacated all of the titles. And so last night he successfully defeated Broadhurst in Monaco in a crowd in an arena that I think there was maybe 400 people in the ballroom. It was an exclusive venue, a very expensive ticket, but there were only 400 people within the ballroom in Monaco.
Yeah, I heard Jim Lampley say that. Mhm.
Yeah, and so the young man is extremely talented. I've been talking about him for about a year now. I first saw him fight Clarkson out of Baltimore, And that cat's a tough out, man, for anybody. He's actually ruined a couple of young fighters. And I saw Bivol fight him for the first time, man, and I noticed this cat has a tremendous right hand. He throws from many angles. He goes to the gut with it real good, real well. His movements are very nice. He's always balanced. Can't say enough good things about him. I think he's well over 300. He's like 300 and something and 15 in amateur fights. And so he's just now coming onto the world stage. And to me, as many accolades as I can throw on him, they're making a new Golovkin at 175.
Not only are they making a new Golovkin, but the craziest thing, Milton, we talked about this, off air, is you got fans, the exact same fans that tried to trash Deontay Wilder's performance over Bermane Stiverne, coming back and knocking out the former heavyweight champion, the only person that he didn't knock out, comes back, knocks him out in the very first round. The same people who's taking away credit from him, they're giving Bivol more credit for knocking out this Brockers guy. And like we said, man, because this is what we do over here. We speak the whole truth. And the whole thing is you have these decafs that desperately, they're basically like leeches, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like parasites, basically, looking for a host. They jump from one to the next. Once that body is dead, they try to hurry up and try to jump to another one. So now that they see that Kovalev is on the decline.
Hey, man.
It started with Pacquiao, actually.
The body's not even cold. The body's not even cold yet, man.
Yeah. Soon as ain't even cold yet.
The body's not even cold
Comatose ain't in effect. All of us, soon as Pacquiao started to decline, they jumped to Golovkin. Soon as Golovkin started to decline, they jumped to Lomachenko. Then they jumped to Kovalev.
Yeah.
And now they like, now we got this Bivol, guy, man. That hopeless is no damn joke,
It's
Milt.
no joke, brother. It's no joke.
Can you imagine if Deontay Wilder was on the hope list, Milt? I mean, he's knocking out dudes. He got them looking like they doing the limbo, folded backwards, like they shot in the head. You know what I mean? Let me pull this down. Let me put this picture back up.
Telling
For
you, man,
money.
You know how they do them sweaters, man, at the polo outlet.
What's that, man? What's that?
No, I just want to get your reaction on what
I don't want people to think I'm hating on Bivol, but the thing is, he's only had 11 fights. He's only had 11 fights. He got 9 knockouts, and I give him credit. But the thing is, how do you leapfrog? My man, he lost only to Andre Ward. Barrera. How do he just finished off?
I had to bring that pick back up since we was talking about it, but go ahead, Milt.
Right, he just finished off Joe Smith this year. He also knocked out Shabransky. He had another win in between those two. He was supposed to have been next in line because of the way it went when Badu Jack beat, who was that he beat? Was it Cleverly?
Cleverly, yeah, he beat Groves before it, and he beat Cleverly in his last fight. Yeah,
Cleverly. What happened was, he picked up that WBA, and it was supposed to have been Badu against Bivol, but I think he agreed to vacate. I think that they did that, and I don't know if they did it to protect Bivol or not.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
excellent point you bring up.
And it's like, how does he leapfrog all these other people?
And no one is talking, and none of those people that's praising Bivol is saying, like you said, anything about Barrera. A guy, like you said, who knocked out, I got to reiterate on that, knocked out Shabransky, knocked out Joe Smith.
Knocked him down.
Knocked him down. Had a competitive fight with Andre Ward.
Right.
He's done nothing but gotten better. And you could just tell that was one of them losses where, like they do with Canelo, where they say, oh, well, you lost to Mayweather. We ain't going to even count that as a loss.
Not even a real loss.
Because no one is, they're not really doing that with Barrera. Like, oh, you lost to Andre Ward. That's not really a loss.
No benefit of the doubt at all.
Yeah, we know what time it is at the end of the day, man. It was something else, but it was something else I was going to mention, but
no, it's just it's funny to me how.
Oh, that's what I want to say real quick. No, just to once again, because I want to touch on what you just said once again. Like we just said, this is nothing personal towards Bivol or Golovkin or Roman Gonzalez. It's the decafs and it's the public who put so much pressure on these fighters, and then when they come up short, you make them look worse. when you try to give them all this credit before they even prove how good they are.
Right.
And once again, at the same time, it really just comes down to all fighters being created and treated equal. If you're gonna try to take all credit away from Deontay Wilder and say, oh, well, that win doesn't matter. If the standards are set that high, the standards have to be set that high for all of these fighters. Who are you comparing them to? If that is the case, So
yes.
Exactly, man. But
and I open it up for the panel. Anybody else got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and you know what? Go ahead, Money.
No, I'm sorry. What I was going to say, I hate saying anything like this, but I think we all know this is true. If you don't fit the image of what I like,
exactly,
none of that stuff matters.
Right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
As simple as that is. If you don't fit, because all of the names that you mentioned, they have a certain format. They all have something in common.
The complexion for the protection.
Just can't quite put my finger on it. Can't quite put. Well, man, I need a clue.
Yeah.
They have a format that this is what I like. Anything outside of this is not acceptable.
Yeah. They want to write a script. They want to write a script. They want it to be a Hollywood script. Once again, I mean, this is the reason why Rocky was such a famous movie, and it was such a great movie because they got to replace Ali. It was like, this is how it really should be,
right?
It shouldn't be this Ali guy. He should really actually look like this. He should have this kind of personality, and he should be. Well, who was Apollo Creed supposed to be in the movie? Apollo Creed was supposed to be Ali.
Ali, right? Yeah.
So they replaced a black Joe Frazier, with a white Joe Frazier from Philadelphia, right?
Right.
So, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like Money just said, this is the image that they want.
Right.
They want it to be like this, but that always backfires on them because no matter how much money you invest on your favorite fighters, no matter how much you try to convince people, money, like we said earlier, no matter how much you try to convince people that 2 + 2 is 5, no matter how much you try to convince people, eventually you cannot make those fighters that you like better.
And
you can't make them better.
You can't.
That's what happened with Donaire versus Rigo. Right after Rigo beat Donaire, I remember I seen one of the most offensive things on Top Rank and HBO. Right after Rigo beat Donaire, HBO was running an ad where they had all the upcoming fights, and it was a nice ad that they put together. They had all these fights, and they had Donaire in the ad. Didn't even advertise Rigo's next fight.
Rigo has been really done dirty, man.
Just to add to my point was, no matter how much money they invested with ads like that, trying to bury Rigo's name and try to make you forget about what just took place, you can't make your favorite fighters better fighters. And I told people 2 years ago, I guarantee you that while a fighter like Donaire, and that's no shot at Donaire, but while he starts to decline, we're going to see that Rigo is still going to be on top.
Right.
And that's exactly what we seen. So go ahead, Milton.
No, but what I was saying was
we'll take a call in a minute too.
The way that they've been treating Rigo, man, has just been. I don't understand it. It's like he's been frozen out of big fights that he should have, that they should have given to him. There've been other, people who he could have, he didn't have to go up 2 weight. I think he's doing this, man, to get to Lomachenko because he has to go up those 2 weight classes.
Mm-hmm.
But one other thing I wanted to point out about a lot of these Eastern European and Russian fighters. What their amateur pedigree is really good, but the thing is, there's a difference between amateur boxing and professional prize fighting.
No doubt about it.
And they soon find out, and I think that's one of the things that and it probably was better for Lomachenko with the Salido fight
and Kovalev. But
and Kovalev, you took the words right out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to fight on the inside when it gets greasy, when it gets grimy in there, man, and You get strafed across the belt line a couple times, and when it gets real nasty in there, man, a lot of times they looking for the ref to bail them out, or either they looking for some help. You know, they don't know what to do. Hey, man, this dude ain't fighting right. I mean, that's professional prize fighting.
Virgil Hunter Virgil Hunter said that exactly. Virgil Hunter actually said that.
I remember that.
He said the European fighters, you know, they don't have that, you know, they don't have that inner toughness, you know, when it comes to that inside, or they're just not used to it.
They're not used to it.
They're not used to it.
So, I mean, how is it that Bevo gets? What's that?
I'm gonna say a classic example to what you're saying is Lomachenko and Orlando Salido.
Yeah. And even the Ward Kovalev. Ward took it to Kovalev on the inside and took body shots. You know, they're used to headhunting and you know, I mean, I just don't see them wrestling on the inside with the arm work and you know trying to gain an advantage and moving the head back and forth. You might catch a butt, straight butt. Headbutt every now and then, and you know, I just don't see them bringing that to the table. So when they run up on that, you know, that it's going to be a challenge for them.
And some, I don't remember who it was, but some fighter was just telling me recently, and Money Pal, you can relate to this. Money Pal the third, you know, he has his son is one of the best prospects in the world right now. If you guys don't believe me, go ahead and check his videos out. I have some vicious. If you think it was real graphic and animated the way Bermain got laid out, you got to watch the way Money, you know, has people doing the stanky leg and the mashed potatoes and everything, you know, in sparring, you know. So check out those highlights on my channel, guys. But Money,
thanks a lot.
Oh, no doubt. And congratulations. You guys just got another win. You could elaborate on that too. But before you do, Money, talk about that, man, how difficult it is for fighters to actually stand close to someone and engage with them, how tough that is, you know, to do when you have some of these fighters that may be more comfortable, you know, on the outside, and then you have some fighters that, you know, when they need to, they can do both if push comes to shove.
It's almost like you're that person that's used to waking up at whatever time that you like. You just do whatever you want, and all of a sudden you're in basic training. You're in the Army or the Marine Corps back in the 70s and the 80s, even sometimes the 60s, and all of a sudden that morning you wake up, you have someone yelling at you in your face, cussing you out, telling you what your mom is, this and that. You're like, whoa, wait a minute,
I'm not used to this.
What exactly is going on here? So it's and they're like, I can't do it. I can't deal with this. I've seen guys literally break down. I'm getting to the point. I've seen guys literally break down when I was in basic training, saying, "I want to go home. I want my mama." I've seen guys break down, man. And so seeing someone that's used to finesse and all this other stuff, now all of a sudden they're in there with someone that, hey, they're like Joe Frazier. They're coming at you 3D. You know, it's like,
3D,
you're
4D.
Forearms. I'm hey, make it 7D. I mean, go all the way with it. You know, and it's like, okay, for a moment, first down, I can deal with it. Okay. Now all of a sudden it's the third round. Whoa, wait a minute. Now you start looking over at the referee. Now you're looking at your corner, and they're telling you advice, but all of that stuff just starts to, the volume just cuts off. And you're like, oh, my God, I've never been in a situation like this before. My eyes are busted. My nose is busted. I've never felt like this before. And panic, for some guys it starts to set in, and it's quite unfortunate. But when it does, they're like, no one ever told me about this. Well, you know something? They should have brought you somewhere to show you that. That is why we take money to different places and you get those different looks.
That's right.
You need to be in front of a rock. Some guys in the pros, okay, and we see it all the time. They are spoon-fed certain fighters that are, going to bring out some good things about themselves. But money sometimes has been put in front of some rocks. Okay, and that's a good thing, especially early on in his career.
I believe that.
So it's like there's no shock and awe. So when he's in sparring, you put him in there with some tough guys that it's kind of hard to move around. So when he gets in front of some of these other fellas, it's like, it's much easier for him.
Absolutely. And that's why I just asked you. And then once again, this is why, we have the greatest platform over here, because we get perspectives from great trainers like my man Money Pal, who completely broke it down.
Exactly.
So I appreciate that. And shout out once again, we're gonna get these sound effects, man. But shout out to the DBN Super Chat Army, my man Mike Gross in that super chat army he just donated to your boy. I appreciate that, man. The whole truth and nothing but the truth is what we pushing over here. So that's what it is. Go ahead, Milton.
Yeah, I wanted to point one thing out too. Like I said, I'm not biased against any of these fighters, and especially because they're Eastern European fighters. Because I think that there's some of them out there that are, that are exceptionally great fighters. I think that Bhop is going to be that.
Oh yeah,
but it's just
and he is a good fighter. We just talking about how he's being perceived, as opposed to how people on the coincidental list are being perceived.
Right, and
that's all we saying.
And I give you another example. I think even Gvozdyk.
Usyk, is it Usyk?
Usyk and Gvozdyk. Usyk is at cruiser, and Gvozdyk is at is light heavy. And I think that he probably should have had a shot at the title. Even my man Arthur Beterbiev.
Yeah.
Beterbiev has been out.
Oh man.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
He is a beast.
But Barrera been wanting that boy for a while.
I know, and I'm talking about This cat just jumped on the scene this year, and they've already catapulted him.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? Beterbiev has been out here for a longer period of time.
Once again, Roman Gonzalez, which ESPN has to feel, they have to feel dumb now. I mean, I'm just going to put it just like that. They put Roman Gonzalez down as top 25, one of the greatest fighters of all time in the last 25 years. They had him over Winky Wright. They had him over they had him over a couple names.
Yeah.
They had him and this was way before he even moved up in weight. This was way before he fought. So that's my point.
I know.
Now you got to back that up. They put Ronda Rousey as fighter of the year over the same year that Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going back to what Money said, they want this image.
They want an image.
They want this certain image. But it's not reality.
And I saw somebody in the comment section speaking about tribalism. I understand what it is when it comes to...
I thought about that. Yeah,
I understand what
people want to go.
with their own tribe, and and I understand that too. But
it's okay. It's okay to root. It's like when we go to live fights and you see a group of Croatian fans or UK fans singing and all that, or you see the Filipino
Irish fans.
That's
with
cool.
The flag,
you like that, right? But the problem is
Polish. But whatever it is.
And it's okay to root for whoever you want to root for, but the problem is when you start throwing rocks at the other team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you start making it extremely personal, or you try to make it seem like you logically making sense where you're a professional like HBO, like ESPN, and you give one side no credit at all
whatsoever.
And when you talking about tribes and rooting for your own and all that kind of stuff, explain to me why in America is it the complete opposite, where only American media members, they deliberately root against their own country. And it only happens in America.
I know.
It only happens in America.
It's sad.
So when you talk about, rooting your tribe and all that kind of stuff, it don't go down like that in America.
No.
It don't go down like that in America at all. Because if once again, if Deontay Wilder's name was Deontay Golovkin or Granados or something like that, he would be. They would have put his ass on a $6 bill by now. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you know what? I thought I saw this week too, man. I thought he said on a $6 bill. Hey man,
shoot,
they still loading up the roster. HBO is still loading up the roster because I think I saw Tevin Farmer signing with a contract with HBO.
Tevin Farmer. Oh yeah. They trying to get some get back.
They trying to get.
Like I said, it goes back to that football documentary. Y'all can relate. What was that football documentary where down south they didn't want to? They didn't want to recruit any black football players.
Right.
But the West Coast was winning because
USC came in there and kicked Alabama.
Yeah. You can speak on that.
Yeah.
I just remember watching it. Yeah, and then what did Alabama do after that?
When they came in there,
man, he realized, he was like, hey, I have to have these guys on my team if I want a champion.
There you go.
I have to have them on there.
Yeah. Hello, and that's what HBO is doing right now.
Exactly.
They we didn't want to do it, but we're gonna have to get some of these dudes on our team, man, because once again, while Kovalev is once again fading, Andre Ward, if he didn't retire, he would still be up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Danny Jacobs. HBO is starting to realize there's a very good chance Danny Jacobs can beat Golovkin in a rematch. And they like, if he does, shouldn't we be there to get some of that money?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they starting to, and once again, it goes back to Mayweather, because that was the beginning of, the end or the demise, the downfall of HBO, is when they let Floyd go.
Yeah.
Because Showtime, they got rid of Strikeforce. They invested so much money on Floyd. That's how important he was for the network.
Right.
And that's the money. They knew they was going to make all that money back.
My franchise guy, and they have. Just a great investment. And I don't understand how HBO, allowed him, your cash cow when it comes to boxing. But the thing is, the way he was treated while he was there, I just didn't agree with it. And even the way Lampley and crew, would talk to him or speak with him, man. It was just, it wasn't how you court somebody who you want to profit off of, man. Even pimps kind of smooth talk, the women before they send them out there on the street. They don't just slap them around all the time. But it was he never got love from them, man. It was like
great analogy.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't just slap the hoes around all the time.
All the time.
I mean, every now
they
and
have
then. Good days too.
They make you think they love you. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. But it's and speaking of Tevin Farmer, him and Tank Davis still having a little bit of a war of words. But surprisingly, this week Tank came up with a message that he sent out to Devin Haney, and he and Devin Haney been having a war of words.
Tank
Yeah.
Shoot him up here right now because you got beef with Hank Lundy too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah, so that
Javante he comes out here a lot. Out to Stone Mountain, Georgia. He's up here a lot, man. And I tell you what, when he comes to the gym, he's melting some of these cats in the gym.
Yeah,
you look at him. He's like this little bitty fellow, man. But he blows up to about 155, almost 160. And I see him in there landing those shots, man. It sounds like a little bass drum going off. And I see some of these cats just melting right there in the ring. I'm like, hey, if I were you, I wouldn't get into the ring with him, man. But okay, you go right ahead. I'm just going to watch. So I would, but what I would say, for someone like Haney, and I really like Haney, but no,
Speaking of Devin Haney, somebody was asking me, was I going to talk about Haney versus Tank beef? I don't know if this is new beef or are they just talking about from when they sparred against each other.
Don't you have footage of or who is that you have? You have Shakur
and Haney. Yeah, Shakur and Haney.
Well, what's his name? Haney is saying, "Hey, Javante, won't you tell Floyd to post the footage of our sparring session and let everybody catch?" Because what it was, okay. Tank made the comment that, hey, Devin Haney is some young cat that just have sparring sessions with bums and posted on the internet for everybody to see. Like, he just posted it.
Who said that?
Tank said that about Devin.
Wow, yeah. I didn't catch that.
He's doing anything he can to make a come up. FOH.
Whoa.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, so then Devin was like, hey, if we sparred before, you can have Floyd put the tape up, if you want to.
Yeah, well, you guys probably heard what I ain't gonna. Floyd Mayweather Sr. He was talking a lot about that sparring session. And I'll just leave it at that. But hey, let me give a shout out real quick to my man Nick O. My man Nick O. He donated in the super chat section, joining that super chat army. He said he's talking about the double standards. He said Ronda Rousey got big calling. What's that? Ronda Rousey got big calling. Oh, she got big. Ronda Rousey got big calling out Mayweather an abuser while doing Expendables with a cast of A-list abusers, Gibson, Snipes, Stallone, then marry white DV abuser. I don't know.
Domestic violence abuse.
Okay, domestic violence
Yeah,
abuse.
her husband,
So,
the cat she married,
yeah,
got convicted
what's his name? Brown.
Yes.
Which,
he got convicted of
I talked and
domestic violence.
Yeah. I talked about that. I talked about that before. That was a video I did a long time ago where once again, she was saying how, he's nothing but a wife beater. He's this, and then you turn around and you actually, get with someone who's accused of doing that. The double standards are just out of this world. I just remember one time, real quick, just off subject. I remember. What's that, Kurt?
She beat up her boyfriend too.
Exactly. Absolutely. But I remember I was in the grocery store and I was talking to this girl in line, and I don't know how we started talking about boxing or whatever. And I remember this was around the time when everybody was jumping on that, using that excuse. Oh, that's why I hate Mayweather, because what he did to his girlfriend or this and that.
Like they care about his girlfriend.
Okay, but what about the other 17 years you hated him before this? Because this was towards the end of his career,
right?
You know what I mean? So anyway, but I said, and then I don't know how we started talking about MMA, and she's, I just love Ronda Rousey, and I said, but Ronda Rousey, she ended up with somebody, beating up and this and that and this and that. All of a sudden, what she said? She's, but people make mistakes though. People make mistakes, and everyone is not perfect, and this and that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. But when it came to Floyd Mayweather, right? You could have had, Ronda Rousey's man Brown knocking somebody out on camera, and she would have been like, well, she should have been able to take a punch. I mean, that's not, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's hilarious, man. But good looking out to my man Nico, man. Yeah, he's.
One thing we haven't talked about, and I'm just going to mention it briefly. Did anybody see that coat that Deontay Wilder wore into the arena last night?
Oh, my wife went off
American Gangster.
That brother was cleaner than a chitlin. You hear me, man?
Depending on who cooking the chitlins.
I feel my grandma's chitlins. They clean. Yeah, man. Brother was cleaner than the Board of Health. I'm serious, bro. That man was. I got to give a shout out to him, man. That cat was just super fly last night.
Oh man, like I said, man. Look, as soon as you said that chinchilla,
baby. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Once again, shout out to my man Angel Santos, my moderator, holding it down. He got the comment section nice and monitored and everything, man. Yes, sir.
Frank Lucas.
Like I said, that American gangster.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, that American gangster, man. But I'm really proud. I'm really proud of Deontay Wilder getting that knockout. And once again, me just saying I'm proud. Isn't that crazy how in America, a lot of people, you got to feel almost uncomfortable giving your own country credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But any other country, you would expect that. Like I said, I go over to the UK, it's all, unity and everything. Man. But over here, you got to be like, oh man, am I going to offend this dude by
like
saying
they're ashamed?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Because that's that N-word lover effect. Right. You know what I mean? That's, trying to make you feel uncomfortable because you see someone or because they see you liking someone that they don't like.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you know how that goes.
One other thing, man, I wanted to say about Devin Haney. I just remember, man, the young man is still only 18 years old. Mm-hmm. He'd be 19, I think. This month. So he's, what is he, 17-0? 18-0? I think he had a fight last night. I can't confirm it.
He had a fight out this way last night. He won.
Did he? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I thought it. I saw the footage of it, and I think he knocked him out, TKO, round 4 or 5. But
congratulations to Devin Haney, man, on your last win, man.
And I think that if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw another fight already listed for him for this month again. Him fighting this month again. So if I'm, the young man is busy. He's hungry. Man.
And has a lot of confidence, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Let me just see something real quick. I don't know if I accidentally put somebody on. Let me see something real quick. Who is this? 314. We got 314. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Justin Carpenter from St. Louis.
Oh man, what's going on, brother?
Oh,
what's going on, man? What's on your mind, man?
Nothing much. I'm waiting for this Loma Rigo fight.
You waiting for the Loma Rigo fight?
We haven't spoke on it enough.
Yeah. We
for a while.
Who wins that one?
Oh man, I want Rigo to win, but I lean slightly towards Loma only because of the age. I think the age is gonna be a bigger factor than the weight.
And that's what we hear. That's what we hear the majority of the time. You know.
Yeah, 37. I think that'll be a bigger. And Loma's 30. I wish it had happened a couple years ago, but.
And while they were both in the same weight class naturally too.
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been.
While they were
True.
Yeah.
While they were both about 126 to 120. I think Rigo was 122.
122.
Loma was 126.
Yeah, he was 122, man, and once again, like I said, he was small at 122. You know, but once again.
He's a natural 118.
Yeah, and quite.
He started off at 118.
I truly believe, you know, if him and Donaire was the same size, because Donaire outweighed him at least by 20 pounds that night.
Yeah.
If they would have
stopped him.
Yeah, he would have stopped him. I truly believe Rigo would have stopped him. You know, and that's how Donaire. You know, Donaire was a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but that's how he won a lot of his fights because he was much bigger. He would get hit a lot in the earlier rounds, like against Matabula, Narvaez, and Rafredo Vasquez Jr., which was a split decision. And then he would always come back and you know hurt you with something and possibly either get you out of there or win some of the later rounds. But they were the same size, and that's why it was a difference when we seen the Walters Donaire fight. But yeah, man, it's an uphill battle.
I got excited.
Go ahead, man.
I got excited when I seen Shakur was sparring with Loma because I've been following Shakur since the Olympics last year. I was actually in Nebraska last month for the Tulsa fight.
You said you were in the what now?
I was in Nebraska for the Colbert fight.
Okay, nice. Okay. That's what's up.
I've been watching and analyzing boxing for years. That's the first big fight I've been to live, and I was 10 rows back from the ring. So.
Yeah, nice, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that was significant. I think for the sparring session between Shakur and Loma, I think Shakur may have gotten more out of it than Loma.
Oh no, there's no thinking about it.
Yeah,
there's no thinking about it.
I think that helps that young man tremendously.
I mean, because there's differences in that. I think the difference between Shakur and Rigondeaux style is that Shakur controls distance very well like Rigondeaux, but Rigondeaux has more pivots and turns.
Yes.
Great
analysis, man. Great breakdown.
Absolutely. His foot, he has a different type of foot movement. But go ahead, man.
Shakur will control distance. He'll take small steps back, and he'll not let you get close. If you do get close, if you get close, like Rigondeaux, he'll let you get close, but then he'll turn and pivot out.
Right.
He'll turn and pivot out, and also he throws his Rigondeaux. He puts his hip into his left hand more. Like he pivots more into it.
Right.
He gets more into it. I think when Shakur throws his shots, he throws it with great timing, and he throws it to land it accurately. Like Rigondeaux looking to take your head off when he throws his left.
Oh yeah, and he throws it from multiple angles too. He can. I mean, he just has so many angles.
He throws it over the top. He throws it up the center. He digs it down to the body.
Yeah, he really knows how to use
it.
Go ahead.
I can understand why casuals find him boring because of the low work rate, but I find it exciting. So that's me.
Well, that's once again them trying to brainwash people, because the same people who say they found him boring, all of a sudden when he fought against Amagaza, those people was nowhere around. If it was truly about somebody being boring, they would have came out of nowhere and said, "Now that's what I'm talking about, Rigo. Now I'm your fan." But they still didn't say that though. Right. So we know it's not that.
I think the reason they didn't say that was because nobody promoted that fight, because everybody HBO wasn't promoting it. I mean, like,
yeah, but it's like when you find out about it, I mean because they know about it now, right? So it's like if you know about it now, how come you haven't gave him any credit for it yet? You know what I mean? And it wasn't, but it wasn't just the Amagaza fight. It was also the fight in China where he got a first round knockout. It was the guy's jaw that he broke. What was the guy's name? The jaw he broke. I forgot his damn name.
Josh Dickens.
Josh Dickens.
Yeah, Dickens.
There you go. Good stuff, bro.
Yeah.
But so all of these.
Didn't he break 2 jaws?
Yeah, he broke a couple. And he broke a couple jaws. He broke Donaire's eye socket. And speaking of, like you said, fights that they didn't have. They didn't give him credit for the Donaire fight, and everybody seen that fight. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we can't even say it's fights people didn't see. You know, that's.
I mean, they call it. People call a lot of things for it. I'm saying, like, they say that about Eris Landy-Lara. They say it about I heard that about Demetrius Andre, and I found that fight exciting. But that, to me, that's almost like a chess. It's almost like if you look at a chess match, if somebody was playing high-speed chess and they were like making a move every 2 to 5 seconds, somebody that don't know anything about chess will find it exciting because it's a move being made every second, pieces are flying off the board. But if it's like a chess match where moves are made like every couple of minutes, then people don't find it exciting anymore. Somebody that knows chess will find it exciting because they see that they're wondering what the other guy is thinking.
Right.
When I see somebody like Lara and he's probing with his right hand, I'm asking myself, what is he looking for that tells him to counter with that left hand? What opening is
Let me say this real quick. It's not the move you make that they're complaining about. It's who's making the move. Because when Lomachenko was making these moves, you know, when he wasn't getting knockouts, it was brilliance. It was literally dancing underwater without getting wet, as Jim Lampley and Max Kellerman, you know, they put it. You know, so let me ask you a question, and this should be a rhetorical question, but let's just say, you know, Lomachenko, let's say Manny Pacquiao, anyone like that, let's say they beat Floyd Mayweather in the fashion that Eris Landy-Lara fought, and everyone got to see Floyd Mayweather's face expression, you know, losing for the first time. Do you think anyone would call that opponent who just beat Floyd Mayweather, you know, if it was Pacquiao, would any of them say it was boring and I didn't like his style?
Nobody was scared because what they wanted to see Floyd lose.
That's my point. That's my point. That's my whole point right there. So when it depends.
Made his name. People want to see him lose.
But it's
and he knows he's not gonna lose.
Hold on, but it's not just Floyd Mayweather, because when you look at you look at Lara's style, right, or you look at Rigo's style, and you say some decaf will say, "Oh, we don't like how he fights." But then when they see Deontay Wilder get a first round knockout, those are the same fans that's saying, "Oh, he's not fighting anyone. This is a bum," etc., etc. So this is what I'm saying when I say I have proof that these are double standards. You know what I mean? You can't explain why you say this guy is boring, that's why I don't like him. And then when you get a guy over here that is not, you know, quote unquote boring, you're still not giving him any credit. Then you have someone like Errol Spence, you know, who's getting knockouts. Now, and then they saying that go ahead.
It's a point to, like, the commentators, whoever they are. They have their preset biases when these fights are transpiring. So whoever the fighter is, if it's someone that they like, of course they'll change the criteria depending on what type of fight that will be.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we're not getting the proper the fans who may not know what they're watching, they're not getting the proper analysis and breakdown, because the analysis and breakdown of what's happening inside the ring should be the same no matter who's fighting, no matter you like the guy or not.
Absolutely. And let me give you a perfect example of what you just said right now, Kirk. You guys remember when James Kirkland fought against what was his name? The one who ended up doing the guy from Mexico who used to clinch a lot. He ended up getting
Angulo?
No. He was a boxer. He clinched a lot, and what's his name? Was it Molina? Was it Molina?
He did fight Molina.
What was the guy's name? James Kirkland fought this guy a long time ago, and the guy, he would clinch a lot. He fought Chavez. I believe it's the same guy who fought Chavez twice. Chavez Jr. twice. You guys help me out in the comment. I'm gonna have to look it up if you guys. But anyway, when James it was Molina. I think his last name was Carlos Molina. Thank you, Champ Ross. Thank you, Champ Ross. So anyway, when he fought against Carlos Molina, it was the complete opposite. James Kirkland was the exciting, aggressive, come forward fighter. Carlos Molina had the quote unquote boring style. You know, jab, grab you, make it ugly and everything. And my point is, Jim Lampley was praising Carlos Molina the entire night. A style that he would usually say.
I gotta watch that again. I'm paying attention to it.
I actually have that in my little mini documentary. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, he was praising. He was talking about how good of a boxer he is, etc. Go ahead. What was you gonna say about Errol Spence? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the one name that I do have to disagree with you on is Errol Spence, because I disagree with Jim Lampley on 90% of stuff, but he had Errol Spence in his top 10 pound for pound on the fight game before Errol Spence had even beaten Kell Brooks. That's one name that he has given a lot of credit to. Errol
What are you
Spence.
disagreeing with though? I know, but you said you have to disagree. What did I say that you disagree with?
Oh no, you had mentioned that you were naming certain fighters, and you had mentioned Errol Spence, and I was saying he has given Errol Spence a lot of credit.
No, but what did I say about Errol Spence you disagreed with though?
Oh no.
Oh, you're saying about Lampley?
I was disagreeing about Jim Lampley. I was saying a lot of fighters he doesn't give credit to, but Errol Spence is one that he does.
No,
he had Errol Spence in his top 10.
So you basically what you're saying is if let's just say Kovalev
even proven it.
So you're saying that because of the one thing he said about Errol Spence, it no longer matters what he said about Floyd Mayweather, about Andre Ward,
I'm saying I disagree with him 90%, but that's one thing that I was saying that when it comes to Errol Spence, he put Errol Spence in his top 10 pound for pound before Errol Spence had even
Well, I mean that's like if Donald Sterling said that Beyonce was hot. I would agree with Donald Sterling that Beyonce is hot, but that doesn't justify what he said about black people though. Do you understand that? You understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, bro. I'm gonna let you go, man. Thanks for the call, man. I really appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, man. And that chess analogy, like somebody was just pointed out in the comment section, man. That chess analogy was on point.
That's so funny to me how people, try to rationalize ignorance. They say, but you know what? But Hitler did. There was some Jews that actually Hitler was actually nice to a couple of Jews though. I remember one Jew he said was a good singer.
Like our president, he said there was good people on both sides.
It was. They weren't all bad.
Bad people.
Just because you got a swastika and you go ahead, money. We're gonna take another call. But go ahead.
Just real quick. It's kind of like a spinoff from what you all were saying earlier about what people, want to see and what they don't want to see, what they actually accept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jesus Soto Caras just fought the other night.
Right.
Did you all see that fight?
I caught the highlights of it. I went back and
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched the fight. Okay, and I didn't know the guy that he was fighting. The guy was like 19-3 with 18 KOs. I said, okay, I don't know anything about this guy, but I'm suspecting he's probably going to give Caras a very bad night. Now, I just had that funny feeling. All right, Caras gets knocked out in the fourth round. He gets stopped, okay?
Right.
So that's done. But here's the crazy part. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe I fell asleep. They actually interviewed Caras. They never interviewed the guy that won the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
I said maybe I missed something.
Mm-hmm.
But they interviewed the guy that got knocked out. They talked about his career. They talked about everything else about him.
Mm-hmm.
But they did. But you would have thought that Caras won the fight. But wait a minute, man! I saw you go down and get stopped there. You went down twice.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay then.
Yeah.
So it's just on what people really want to see,
It's
but they never talk to this other guy.
Great point, money. Great point.
Right.
And something else to add on, to go back to counter what my last caller was just saying. If you have a pound for pound list, if I tell you that Kovalev is the best light heavyweight before, when he was undefeated, and which I said a lot on my channel. Now, he had just called black people monkeys, right? He had just called Adonis Stevenson a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally like Kovalev, but I'm still going to tell you I'm still going to give you the credit he deserves because how good he is as a boxer has nothing to do with what I personally think about him, which is the difference between new media and old media. Is we can give you credit regardless. You could think you could call black people monkeys all you want and all that kind of stuff. He still was the guy to beat, the champion to beat at light heavyweight. So for this guy, the caller, to use the example, Jim Lampley said that the guy is good. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's got nothing to do with what you personally think about somebody and the double standards that exist on that network led by Jim Lampley. Right. So you know what? Let's go ahead and take another call and we'll get ready. I know we've been talking a minute. Milt, we got some more notes that Milt's gonna jump on, but let's go ahead and take another call.
Just a few.
Okay.
It's not much.
Okay. We got 314. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man? 314?
Real low. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, man?
I'm real low, man. Calling from St. Louis, man.
You said we sound low? Is that what you said?
No, I said St. Louis.
No, I thought you said something about real low, but okay, go ahead, man. What's on your mind?
No, real low. That's my name.
Okay. I was wondering what you said. That's his name.
Yeah. I thought he was like, damn, yeah, real low. Go ahead. What's on your mind, man?
Well, anyway, I was calling. Hey, what I want to talk about is a lot of people, like your last caller, they got the Willie Lynch syndrome, man. They just so used to going against each other.
That's what it is.
My second thing I want to say, and the second thing I want to say, I wanted to ask about Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. What y'all think about that fight? And my last and final thing is Earl Spence. He is the most just man in the welterweight division. I'll let y'all go and I'll listen.
Okay. Hey, thanks for your call, man.
Appreciate it.
Let me speak on the Devin Haney and Tank.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Bring it in, bro.
I thought you had hung up on us. That's my man Christian Thomas. You guys seen him sparring on my.
I had the privilege, and I still have the privilege of knowing both of them, and I seen both of them work hard. You know, I seen both of them go at it when the cameras ain't around. You know, I can honestly tell you who's really in tune with it when ain't no one's around. And I can tell you who always keeps the same face. And as far as that fight, that's a beautiful matchup. Whoever's pulling this rabbit out the hat, that's a great trick right there. I mean, Tank and Devin Haney, that's a beautiful fight.
I believe
Chris,
it would be.
Chris, you were there. Chris, like you said, you been there.
No, I don't want to go in.
I knew it.
I almost had him. Almost had him.
He's giving us that political answer. I was listening. I'm like, here we go.
Who I think will win? I'm gonna be honest from a sports point of view.
Go ahead, Chris.
From a fan point of view, I admire both of them. I was in the amateurs with Tank. We did Golden Gloves here in Vegas and everything.
That's what's up.
I believe that, honestly, all BS aside, I believe that Devin Haney will beat my boy Tank.
Woo!
That's real.
Ooh,
okay.
And I didn't see, like I said, I didn't see both of them in work professionally and in training. And Devin Haney, I'm gonna be honest with you, the kid is still growing. Tank is still growing. I take nothing from neither one of them. This is a dope matchup, but I think Devin Haney will win.
Man, thanks for the headline, Christian. Thanks for the headline, Christian.
Oh man.
And once again, for everybody listening, that's my man Christian Thomas. You guys seen him on my channel. His sparring session against Will Clemens, it went viral. You know, him sparring, he's the one that he body slammed Will Clemens. Man, hey, what was you thinking, man, when you slammed that man? What was going on in your head, Christian?
Now I'm glad you asked that, man, because a lot of y'all come from a not so good of a place, you know, and we have these places in America. We call them hoods, you know. and when a man try to talk to you, but you can hear his voice, but he want to get close enough to touch you. And when you're in the boxing ring, first off, you take one of the gloves off. I'm gonna go back to what happened. He didn't look too good during the matchup. You know, he came to the gym to get it on in the doghouse with me. We did 5 to 6 minute rounds, I think. I don't remember how long was the round. The reason why we got into it was because he was making speculations to another fighter that I had no idea who he was. You know, in Vegas, fighters come from all over the world to test their might. Everyone knows the fight capital.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a new fighter in town. His name, Brentwood. He's from
Memphis. Not Memphis. Mississippi, right?
He's from Mississippi.
Yeah. Shout out to
I don't know how my mom that instigating and everything. He had it popping. It was definitely good time. But he took his glove off on me and he approached me in a aggressive, you know what I mean? And he already see that he was a poor sportsman about the work we just did. He took his glove off. He started trying to get close to me with the glove off. You know, I told him, go to his corner. Go to your corner. You could talk from over there. You got something to say? Go over there with it. He kept on approaching me, so I scooped him. I had to restrain him. I mean, I protect yourself at all times, and I just follow the rules, man.
Yeah.
Simple as that, man. I'd rather be safe than sorry, you know.
And you restrained him by slamming him to the ground.
Yeah, I scooped him. That was the first.
You scooped him. Was that a double leg? Was a double leg takedown?
Yeah. What you gonna do with a boxer? You go with no gloves on? I can't. He has weapons. He's a professional boxer. He has weapons. When he exposed his armor and approached me with that weapon, I got to get him off his feet. I mean, my life he's threatening my life.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, that definitely brought it to an end real quick. I mean, and clearly a lot of boxers, they're not used to that approach, because that was different.
My man, God's Boxing Corner. What's up?
Shout out to God's Boxing Corner. Said, what's good, Milt and Dontae.
Y'all check them out on Instagram.
Yeah. Hey, but real quick, to go back to my caller's point, is my caller still there, or did I? What area code was that?
He hung up.
Oh, he did hang up. Okay, but he started off with a really good point. Like you said, a lot of these cats are weak-minded. They're weak-minded, and to be honest, with the caller who called in earlier, once again, it's more easier to stand on the sidelines as opposed to standing in the line of fire,
exactly.
with dogs being sicked on you, getting hit by water hose and all that kind of stuff.
When you in the belly of the beast.
Yeah. It's more easier to sit on the side and actually go with the grain and be like, I don't know what y'all, you going to walk to work? I'm about to get on this bus and go to work, man. What the, I see what they talking about. It's more easier to go with that approach.
Exactly.
You don't have to deal with all the backlash of people calling you names, calling you the N-word, calling you monkeys, calling you this and you calling you. So if you just go with the grain and say, hey man, I agree with them. These black people, they bringing these, they got their hands up getting shot by the police. That's their fault. You know what I mean? It's easy for you to go with that as opposed to going against that narrative. Mm-hmm. You go against the grain. You got to deal with the, with the repercussions. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's what it really comes down to. I mean, we speaking the truth. That's what we do over here.
Right.
Boxing is a microcosm of what happens outside. Mm-hmm. The real world. And real quick before you get into that, I just want people to understand, how deep this goes. You think it's a coincidence that the same people that often call Rigo boring, Andre Ward boring, Floyd Mayweather boring. If you start talking about what's going on outside of boxing, the football players protesting, or little 12-year-old kids getting shot by the police, they will have the exact same narrative. The people who talk about Floyd and Ward and all them, they have the same narrative as like a Fox News.
Exactly.
They'll tell you word for word, they brought it on themselves. Or what about black on black crime? What about this? What about that? So that's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? That the same people you talking about in boxing are the same people you talking about outside of boxing. Let's get back to the boxing.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Milt.
Just want to run down, man, what's coming up next week. It's still hot, man. 2017, I don't know if it can be replicated. I mean, but next week, man, Jose Ramirez versus Mike Reed, which is two junior welterweights. Going to be a pretty good one. But on that card, headlining that card is Artur Beterbiev.
He's finally coming back,
He's coming back, and this is for the vacant IBF IBF light heavyweight title against Enrique Colling.
That should be good.
That should be a good fight.
I can't wait to see how Better Biev look, man, because he is a beast, but he's been going for a minute.
All right. But then later on that evening, that's going to be early in the day. Later on that evening, we got Daniel Jacobs versus Luis Cuba.
Woo!
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's going to be good.
Shout out,
That's a barn burner.
Yeah.
Shout out to both of my boys, Danny Jacobs and Luis Arias. Those both my boys, man.
Of course, you know, when we're going Denny, I'm going with the Miracle Man in that one. Even though Arias, he's a tough customer, man, and I think he's going to be there. But I think, man, he been writing them checks, man. I don't know. I don't know.
He been writing them checks.
He been writing them checks,
man.
Hey,
we gonna see
on that same card. We got Gerald Big Baby Miller in action. I'm not sure.
Fighting a European fighter, right?
Yeah.
Tall. What was his name again?
Maurice Wach or something like.
The Wach guy. It is
yeah.
Maurice Wach. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then later on in England that night, that same day is Liam Smith versus Liam Williams. They finally gonna get that fight going on. I think that's gonna be a pretty good fight. So, UK fighters, I gotta give the UK some props, man. They've been putting on some pretty good fights here recently too, and that's gonna be a pretty good one. Liam Smith versus Liam Williams, and that was for the WBO junior middleweight eliminator. Remember Liam Smith held. Which one did he hold?
There was a junior middleweight WBO.
And
got beat by Canelo.
You're right. So he's back in action. They were supposed to fight a few months back. I think somebody missed weight. Thomas Patrick Ward, Sean Davis is going to be a pretty good one. But on November 17th, that's that Anthony Durrell, Dennis Douglin. Remember we had Dennis Douglin.
I've been going, y'all. We done took up all of YouTube's time. They said I ain't never seen that. It said stream completed. Okay, resume. Okay. Yeah, we gotta go and get ready to wrap this up, y'all. So, But go ahead, let's go ahead and wrap it up. You know.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up. But like I said, Arthur Beterbiev, Enrique Colling, Daniel Jacobs, Luis Arias with Big Baby Miller on the card, Liam Smith, Liam Williams, Anthony Durrell versus Dennis Douglin in a couple weeks. But I'm trying to find when the Julius J. Rock Williams versus.
Yeah, we got my man Kirk Jackson on the line. We got Money Pal the Third. You know, one of the up and coming boxing trainers / boxing blow by blow. Commentators. You know, So yeah, man. Kirk, what else you got, Kirk?
That's it. Thanks for having me on.
For sure, family. Anything else, Money?
No, that's it, man. I just can't wait to see, what's later on down. I'm looking at Hearn. I want to see what the promoter, Eddie Hearn, is going to say about AJ.
And
what smoke screen? I'm just wondering, which smoke screen is he going to throw out there next? Just come on off of it. Just say what you really want to say.
I can't wait.
Trying to make as much money as I can with AJ before risking the title.
Since you just said that, Money, I can't wait to hear what Anthony Joshua has to say. His reaction. Has he even reacted to the Wilder fight yet?
Any reactions? I haven't seen any reactions.
That'll be interesting,
anything, man. I've been scouring the wire.
He has to.
Deontay was on his line at the end of that fight during the interview, so I appreciate him doing that.
Yeah,
and more fighters need to do this. If there's fights you guys want to make. You have the interview, you have the platform, say it.
Yep.
So that there's no doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you know what? Because I think this is an international call. I may go and take another call. Let's see if we have an international call right here.
Yeah. I think it is.
We have a number starting with I think this is UK 447. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
How you doing, Dontae?
What's going on, man? Where you calling from? What's your name?
I'm calling from London.
All right.
Oh.
Set it off.
Okay.
Set it off.
Okay.
What's on your mind, man?
Well, I would just like to know if you could get Dylan White on your show to see his response to Deontay's wildest performance.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. I would love to get Dylan White on the show, man. I would like to get his reaction. And what else?
I would like the fighters to just go ahead and do what they act. The world wants it. The fighters want it. I don't think Dylan should be even spoke of. Men not hot.
Yeah, and Chris, and something else, something else real quick to add on to what you just said, Chris. Deontay Wilder already said he will fight Dylan White as long as Anthony Joshua is on the contract. And that was the whole reason Dylan White's name had got brought up from the beginning. You know, but Chris, hold on. I want to hear what my man real quick from the UK want to say real quick. Anything else on your mind on that, bro? From the UK, from London?
Well, to be honest with you, Dontae, I don't really see what the problem is with Deontay Wilder fighting Dylan White, because the Americans seem to fob off Dylan White as if he is of no significance. Then let's see what the case is.
Hey, go ahead, Mel.
But why we gotta beat him? Why can't Anthony beat him?
But
Anthony already knocked him out. Anthony already knocked him out. But go ahead, Mel.
Anthony knocked him out.
Yeah.
For Wilder then.
But hold on, Chris.
That's gonna be easy work. So
right.
Why we gotta toy around? Why we gotta do these obstacles when it's really him and him?
Well,
we're not telling Anthony to go knock out Burns like Wilder just did.
And I'll respond. Go ahead, and I'll respond after Milt. I'll respond. Go ahead, Milt.
But one of the things I want to say is one of the things I want to what I want to say is Dylan White is a damn good heavyweight fighter, and I don't want to dismiss him as though he's inconsequential, but he does not hold a title. Right now, you have two title holders. What is stopping Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder from unifying the titles so that there is only one king at the heavyweight division, and then Dylan White, Big Baby Miller, and whomever else is falling in line, they fall in line and fight that one individual. Everybody else just steps, right now, let the two, and then you have Joseph Parker who's lingering out there. But one man should be holding these heavyweight titles. Allow that person to allow those two people to unify, and then Dylan White, Big Baby Miller, whoever else, just put them in line.
And let me just also ask my man from the UK. First of all, Deontay Wilder, versus Dylan White, that would be a great fight. It'd be a great fight. Of course, Wilder versus Joshua would be even a bigger fight. But let me ask you this, bro, from London, because for those of you guys just tuning in, we're talking to, a fan from London right now. If Deontay Wilder were to agree to fight Dylan White, do you think he should get the Anthony Joshua fight if he were to beat Dylan White? If he were to beat him?
But you tell me this, Dontae. Where is Anthony Joshua going to go? Yeah?
Yeah. Well, he could go towards Pulev. He could go towards Joe Parker. I mean, but if that's the case, then Anthony Joshua would have nowhere to go even right now, no, right? Hello? Oh, he hung up. It got too hot. Oh man. Yeah, he hung up, boy, because it was getting hot, boy. He hung up.
Joshua and Wilder is where it's at. There's nothing else to look at. There's nothing else in between. It is Joshua and Wilder. That's what people want to see. May the best man win, and that's it. Whoever's the king of the hill, that's it. There's nothing else in between. Everyone else can say, "Hey, I want to."
That might have been Dylan White on the line.
That might have been Dylan White right there.
And if the fight happens between Wilder and Joshua, let's hope it's good enough where we want to see a rematch. So,
I didn't even think about that.
Hey guys,
great point, Kirk.
Kirk. There's no denying. Yep.
But did you guys see how? All I had to do was just ask simple questions, and you kind of forced to say something that makes sense.
Exactly.
How did that conversation end? It ended with him saying Anthony Joshua has nowhere else to go. So if Anthony Joshua has nowhere else to go, why is he not fighting Wilder right now? Then
I like to play. I like to play devil's advocate. Maybe
go ahead, please do. I love it.
Maybe he had a bad connection.
He had a real.
Okay.
Oh, that connection
Well,
started getting real
the-
bad
the-
after a couple questions, boy.
I'm just saying.
The guy, when you all right, you kind of nailed it, but I'll come at it in a different direction. Okay, let's say chess. When he just said that Anthony had nowhere else to go, what happens when a king has nowhere else to go on that board? It's game over. It's checkmate.
It's checkmate.
There are no other moves to make.
No other moves to make.
There's nothing. So it's like, okay, and he, whether he may have realized it or not, he was saying, I don't know, but what I'm looking at, I'm translating it like this: there are no other moves except for one. That is to face Wilder. Period. Point blank. End of discussion on that.
And like I said, Dylan White
No one wants to see Dylan White and Wilder. I mean, Wilder addressed it himself. He called that man a peasant. And we throw lettuce and tomatoes at guys like that.
Even more so. Hey, I tell you what though, another thing that will happen is if he beats Dylan White, they're still gonna say he hasn't fought anybody. Because Dylan White hasn't been a champion, they're still gonna say, "Well, what does Dylan White do?" They will never be satisfied until they knock off AJ.
And what fans from the UK don't realize is this is not even a diss towards Dylan White. This is just the fact that you got grown-ups that want to take care of business when it comes to Deontay Wilder. I mean, once again, for people to really understand it, you have to put it, in a simple perspective so they could really get it. Like I said before, imagine if it was the other way around where Gennady Golovkin was calling out Andre Ward, right? And Andre Ward was like, I don't really know if I'm ready for that. I'm not going to be forced to take that fight. And then all of a sudden, Chad Dawson, who got knocked out by Andre Ward, he starts calling out Golovkin, right? And then all of us... So let's just say we dumb media, We over here saying, hey, Golovkin, why won't you fight Chad Dawson? And then everybody start picking up on it. And yeah, Golovkin, he's ducking Chad Dawson.
Right.
But Chad Dawson is calling out Golovkin, but Golovkin is calling out Andre Ward, who knocked out Chad Dawson. Does that make any damn sense?
No, whatsoever.
That's exactly what's going on
I know.
with this. You gotta put it like that so even the dumbest person can see it. You know what I mean? And that's basically what it comes down to.
I play devil's advocate. I do that from time to time over here, and I see Charles Thrower. It's like I understand that they want to build the fight up. I said all this stuff last week, playing devil's advocate, trying to be, get the conversation going. We all can't be, singing the same song all the time. So I just try to throw it in there every now and then. There is no excuse for not making this fight right now. Hey, let me tell you, I did it last week. I tried to make an argument for, hey, maybe Eddie Hearn wants to, build it up, make it, maybe they want to unify with Parker, so it's only all the belts are in the pile at one time, and maybe they want to just make as much money as they can off this fight. None of that shit. Pardon my French.
Of course not.
It is all about making the biggest fight that they can make right now.
Yeah.
Now, Milt, check this out, man. Check this out. I'm just going off of what you're saying about Hearn.
Mm-hmm.
Hearn said, hey, I want you to fight Dylan White to increase the value. Okay, all right, let's just put that in place. Let's put that on hold just for a moment.
Okay.
I went over here. I'm Deontay Wilder. I just knocked this guy out, Stiverne. I just knocked him out. I folded him up in the first round in less than roughly half of a round. He's gone.
Right.
What more value do you need? Okay, so here's another thing. Okay, I come over. Let's just say I go and I fight Dylan White. But before I fight Dylan, what is this value going to be when I stop him?
Of course.
Right.
Of course. What's the prize?
What is this value going to be then? What is my pay going to be like? Because are you going to pay me only 1.4 million pounds like you just did with Joshua's opponent?
Yes.
Takam?
Exactly.
Or,
Takam. And Joshua picked up 10 million.
I can't have 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
You just told me I can't have 7 million. So if I go over here, all right, I already stopped Stiverne. Now, if I come over here and stop this guy, what am I going to get paid then?
Exactly.
Can we discuss this before I actually do that? If it's like, okay, if you want to play these games, fine. But if you're telling me I still can't have $7 million, in other words, in reverse, regardless of what you do, you're still never going to fight Joshua. You're going to chase that carrot that's like a mile away from you, that's right in front of you, and you'll never get it. Then you're the problem.
And this is what I would love to ask Eddie Hearn. A very simple question when we think about it. If Anthony Joshua versus Wilder was not the very next fight to make, if we do get the Dillian Whyte fight, then why did Eddie Hearn himself even say he wants to see Wilder fight him? Why did Eddie as a promoter even say he wants Wilder to fight him if it's not a guarantee that if Wilder gets past him, he gets to fight against Anthony Joshua? Why would he just randomly throw a guy out? Randomly throw a guy out and say, "Hey man, why doesn't Wilder go fight this guy?" I mean, if you really kind of think about it, it's kind of like if some dude is getting called out, he's getting challenged to a fight at school, and that dude is getting called out, and he said, "Why don't you go fight that other dude over there? Right? Why you messing with me? You won't say that's a homeboy over there. You know what I mean? It's like
okay,
you gotta get that heat off.
I'm gonna use Mills' word. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Okay. So I'm Mr. Hearn. Mm-hmm. I want to see you, Dontae. I want to see you fight Dylan and see how you knock him out versus how Anthony knocked him out. I'm still not guaranteeing you anything, but I just want to see how you're going to do that. I'm going to say the value part, but I just want to see how you knock him out versus how my man Anthony knocked him out.
And then I'll think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I'm Dontae, I'll tell him to kiss my ass.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there you have it.
But like I said, Money said earlier, there's no value. There's no prize. There's no guarantee. It's like, me applying for a job and you telling me, I tell you what, you work for us for 3 weeks, but we ain't gonna guarantee we gonna pay you though. You know what I mean? You could do all your duties, you could do it to a T, but it ain't no guarantee we're gonna pay you. We might, but we ain't gonna put it. We not gonna agree to paying you. But who's gonna do that?
And
you know what I mean?
Hey,
that's called slavery, actually, ain't it? Yeah, but yeah. Go ahead.
That
man.
happens, and it's unfortunate. But Hearn, look, they've already said to us, just in general, just to the world, okay, not just to America, but to the world. We have no intention of fighting outside of the USA. So I'm like, okay, money talks.
Money talks.
So it's like, okay, let's have the fight in Las Vegas, and let's put some real big money down on this.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's like, okay, if we'll pay you more money than your promoter, Eddie Hearn. Come on, Joshua. I'm not even talking to the promoter anymore. I want to talk to Joshua now. I want to talk to you, man. I tell you what, man. You're the champ. Wilder's the champ. I tell you what. This is a big money fight. Let's put up around about close to $100 million for this fight. Watch what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It may sound crazy, but the demand on this fight is much like in the earlier stages when people wanted to watch Mayweather Pacquiao.
Exactly.
This is where this fight is now.
And once again,
you got to get over that hump.
Once again, psychologically, just the fact that they have someone like you compared it, Money, to Pacquiao versus Mayweather. A lot of fans, they just love the idea that they could say Mayweather is afraid to fight this guy. Even if they thought deep down that Mayweather would beat Manny Pacquiao, they actually love the fact that the fight wasn't happening, so they could always say, oh, but you know what? Because I remember it was some fans saying, Mayweather wants to consider himself great. He has to fight Manny Pacquiao. They was hoping that it wouldn't happen. Exactly. You know what I mean? So with the Deontay Wilder situation versus Dillian Whyte, and this is no diss towards Dillian Whyte, but what's special about Dillian Whyte? He's been knocked out before. He's not a champion. I mean, if you compare him to Stiverne had never been knocked out before.
Right.
He was the only guy that Deontay Wilder didn't knock out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you comparing them as opponents, what's special about Dillian Whyte other than you just comparing, who's going to do better against the same opponent, right?
And then I was just checking out,
and they've already faced similar opponents before.
In the comment section, they would talk. Some people were talking about their common opponents, and that AJ has done better against their common opponents. I mean, he handled Molina handedly. Who was his other one? It was another common opponent I think that they have.
Did they have
escaping me right now?
You guys remember the other opponent? The other common opponent that Anthony and Wilder had, guys, in the comment section.
I know Molina did give Wilder a tough fight. I mean, it wasn't. I won't say a tough fight, but he hung around for a while, probably longer than.
Was it Gavern? Was it Gavern?
I think so. Yeah.
Somebody Robinson Ray put Gavern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting. You know what? I don't even think I've seen I see. Oh, that's right. I remember. Yeah, I remember Wilder fighting Gavern.
Yeah.
Gavern or however you pronounce it.
And so
thanks, Robinson. Appreciate that. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And I think that I don't think it's necessarily AJ is scared, but at this point, I don't think that he wants that fight. And I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's
scared is a subjective, kind of word.
I don't want to put it out there, man.
I know. That's how people always.
If I thought that he was scared, if I thought that he was just like, hey, man, he shook.
Well, it depends on it depends on what you scared of. Are you scared of the fact that maybe if you lose, you don't become that billionaire? Because you remember Anthony Joshua, he said he wanted to be. Like the boxing billionaire, something like he said he wanted to be like Mayweather financially. Right. Remember he said something like that a while ago.
I remember that.
And once again, that kind of derails things if he loses to Deontay Wilder.
Right.
And I see some of you guys in the comment section saying that he may be.
Come on, Milt.
Yeah. They also said earlier they said he may be the next Frank Bruno or something like that.
Hey, Kirk, you think he's scared?
I can't say in the professional ranks, like fighters are used to fighting other fighters for years. They grew up doing that. So I mean, I can't say that he's afraid, but I can say that he's not looking forward to that matchup. I mean, it's what they're doing. They're trying to delay that fight from happening. So I mean, I don't think he's afraid per se, but I don't think he's looking forward to that fight. Just like guys aren't looking forward to fighting Errol Spence. But if he wants to be like Mayweather, at least from a financial perspective, he needs to be like Mayweather from a career perspective and professionally from fighting the top guys. So if you want to be the Mayweather and have that status, you need to fight
that's
top guys.
Excellent point, Kirk. That's the difference from Floyd. And I agree with Pittsburgh Brew. He probably put it the best way. He said he's not scared. He's smart.
Yeah.
And that's probably
my man Mike Gross said he can't call him scared. He's cautious.
Cautious. Cautious. Smart. Cautious. Smart.
Man.
Like I said, pick your poison. You pick one of them. But man. I mean, Floyd Mayweather was one of the rare fighters. People always try to make this ridiculous comparison. Whenever some fighter is reluctant to get in the ring, the same fighters that gave Floyd no credit, now all of a sudden they use him, as a comparison. The fighter they want to compare. Oh, well, Floyd, he did it. Floyd
did it.
No. Floyd was fighting pound for pound the best fighters in the world from age 21, 22 on. Because like I said, Diego Corrales top 10 pound for pound. Ricky Hatton number 4 pound for pound because he had just knocked out Costa Tzu. And just Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao. All of these fighters were considered pound for pound when he beat them, not after. When he beat them. So when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, he was actually fighting the most dangerous opponents. He was fighting the Deontay Wilders, the Errol Spencers, if you will. Because people thought that Diego Corrales was going to murder him.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
They thought he was going to murder him. So to go back to my point, yeah, man. If you're going to either be smart and confident, or you're going to be smart and not be as confident. So.
Man, let me give a shout out.
But skill-wise, Anthony Joshua, he has the skills to possibly beat a Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
But we have to see it.
We have to see it.
We have to see it.
And just want to give a shout out to Mr. IOTBA
He in the comment section?
Yeah, he in the comment section.
What's going on, Corey?
Yeah, man. Just wanted
Shouts
to say
out
what's
to
up.
my man, Corey.
Yeah, man. Holding it down over there on Facebook, man. Y'all check out his page, IOTBA Boxing Talk. And my man, Conor McGregor. He been posting some hot shit on here all night, man.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, he been posting it on here all night, man. He be killing me. Yeah, man. But he was talking about if Wilder beats him, people still not gonna give him credit because they're gonna talk about how flawed Joshua was. Then it's gonna be like, hey, man, he ain't fight Goku.
It's just never everything gets watered down when Wilder wins. It does not make a difference, and that is so sad. Just like it was sad about things when it comes to Mayweather, just like it's sad about when it comes to
Roy Jones.
What's his name?
Roy.
It's like it's never good enough.
Never good enough.
Never good enough.
Never good enough.
Or even Mike McCallum, and it just goes on.
Mike McCallum, yep.
Because sometimes, and I really say Mike McCallum because let's just face it, the guy was awesome in the ring, but he just didn't. He didn't have that appeal to people.
Right.
I don't care about that. I care about what he did in the ring. That's what I care about.
Yeah, personality and all that.
But some people that doesn't. No. He was too dry.
Mm-hmm,
but he was winning.
Yeah,
and he had sensational knockouts. This guy was beautiful in the ring, but it doesn't matter.
Body snatch.
None of that matters.
Yeah,
just like with Wilder, it's unfortunate. It doesn't matter. It's like. This guy can go out. He can knock out all of the remaining heavyweights. That he can go over and fight Parker. He can knock Parker out second or third round.
Yeah.
Well, Parker. Yeah.
One thing has absolutely nothing to do with the other. You can't say, oh, sure, he's great in the ring, but can he make some of my grandma's gumbo though? You know what I mean? If you can't make my grandma's gumbo, I don't give a damn how good your jab is. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with no damn boxing, man.
Man. They should turn that into a commercial right there. Whether you realize it or not, you just created a commercial.
Oh my God, man! Come on, bro.
Man,
come on, man. You gotta let me know when you're gonna hit him with that one.
You gotta brace yourself for those ones, boy. I tell you, man. And they get it. When
you got me weak, fam. You got me weak.
We use simple analogies.
Hey, man, y'all
like
call 911, man. I'm dying up here, man. Get 911 on the line. Yeah, man.
Hey, but anyway, man. Hey, we gonna go and wrap it up. I know y'all even getting tired, man. We working overtime, y'all, man. So we gonna go. We had a good one, man. We did some serious overtime, Thanks to I don't know if that was Dylan White calling in. Thanks to my UK caller. He did sound like Dylan White though.
Yeah, man.
He had a little bit of that kind of Jamaican UK, little accent. But I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna, put him out there like that. But that was a good call though. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Ed Valencia, man. DCN, Dontae's Cooking Nation. Yeah, man. He said, is that the promotion for your cooking channel? Oh, you already know, man. Oh, y'all gonna taste Dontae's gumbo. Yeah, we gonna see. We gonna go to Money's Money's crib and check out his food too, man.
Oh yeah.
So we all gonna be cooking, man. Milt. Me, Money,
I'll
Kirk,
burn it up.
We gonna go to Bay Area, see where the spots is in the Bay. Kirk gonna tell us where the cooking spots is, the restaurant. So that's what it is, man. So what's up?
So yeah, I got you.
All right, for sure. So all right, y'all, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up. My phone is blowing up over here, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Once again, man, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Next week, as always,
thank you.
We're going to be doing the same damn thing. You guys already know what it is. Milt, go ahead and take us out with something, man.
Hey, man, just want to say, make sure that y'all are checking it out next week, man. The Miracle Man, Danny Jacobs, are going to be, doing this thing. So y'all don't want to miss it, man. Don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it. That's what it is, y'all. So we see you guys next week. Same time, Sunday, Pacific Standard Time. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the nation, baby. Yep.
All right, fellas, you all take it easy and have a good evening, okay?
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Take care, y'all.
Show enough now. Okay, then.
And you know what? And don't forget to go to that dope-ass website, ashkicking.com. All right, y'all, and go get you some of them fresh, fly box runner shoes. BoxRunnerShoes.com. If you guys are training, you got to get you some of them box runner shoes, man. That's what it is, y'all.
Most definitely, most definitely.
All right, y'all. Deuces, y'all. You already know what it is. It's the nation, baby, all day.